Gentlemen, start your bitching. That's my department, not yours. Yay. Cup race. Last thing I have to watch before football tomorrow. Excuse me. Very nice. Okay. I assume a host of people will drop by shortly. They always do. And I appreciate it. Hopefully my computer will stay connected to the Wi-Fi for the entire duration of said race. Unlike earlier. I really do need a mic stand or something. It would work better than the headset deal. So, I picked some low-hanging fruit tonight. I just feel like Truex is due. He dominated here last year. And, come on, he's due. He's been top 3 and dominated at Darlington. He's top 3 every damn week, so he's got to win sooner or later. Hey, Lori. I saw on the NBC bet thing it had Harvick and Hamlin slightly more favored than Truex, but I guess everywhere else are pretty much even. If I really wanted to go under the radar, I could have said Brad or Joey, but I'm not going to do that to myself. Hey, Ozzy. I will shut my door soon. I can hear the fucking television in the living room. Just trying to keep the door open as long as I can because it gets hot as shit in here. Oh, I'm excited about tomorrow. Competition caution at lap 30. Kyle Busch failed inspection 3 times. He will start in the rear. Christopher Bell starts in the rear. Front approved adjustments. Well, Xfinity didn't have to have their caution until lap 40, so. Jeff, I don't know what keeps her coming back either. I don't know what keeps anybody coming back. Can't figure it out. Oh, I'm so happy it's been a while since Joey Logano won a race. Can we keep that going? Holy shit was my reaction when Custer won Kentucky. Oh, Rick Allen. Hey, Janet.
Well, let's maybe look a little bit further down in the standings and look at Eric Almirola, who currently is 12th in the standings.
I got a milkshake on the way.
A little bit more about him from Dave Burns.
Had a little Hardee's today and a milkshake. That's good. It's good enough for me.
As you say, on the cut line, the last of 12 in right now is Eric Almirola.
Almirola and Boyer are tied for 12th right now on the standings.
One of his best racetracks. He has an opportunity to walk out of here with
Hold on, is there a live point leaderboard on the
NASCAR.com
website?
Well, Dave, Ryan Blaney entered these playoffs thinking they just need base hits in this first round to advance the
Let's
second
go to
round.
this again.
Then they
My
went to Darlington,
leaderboard.
lost 10 points. Todd Gordon got ejected for that race, and then the race went terribly. They enter now 17 points.
Oh yeah, they do have live
standings.
standings. So I'll have live standings up on a different tab.
They get a strong run tonight. Next week, Bristol, one of their best tracks. They're very much looking forward to that, Marty.
Well, Parker, off of this dramatic second-place finish.
So on this screen, if you look to the right, there's live points.
+10 above the cut line.
I might look at that throughout the race.
One of his worst racetracks. He'll tell
We'll
you
stay
that.
over here
But
on
he
this
told
for
me earlier
now.
this week, now it's one of our best in the playoffs. He said we finished 6th twice here in the last.
I got to
couple
work
races.
out after the race.
I
I'm
have
still
a
not
massive
excited
amount
about
of
it.
confidence that they can even grow that lead above the cut line.
Last hurdle to football
And head to
is
Bristol
this
and
race and then working out afterwards.
Yeah, Marty, these drivers don't want to go to Bristol.
I'm trying to lighten up on myself on the working out thing because for the past 2 weeks I've been killing myself. I can lay it back a little bit. I don't have to be miserable about it.
For tonight's race, Tim Parks Jr. from Parks Auto Parts, Charleston, South Carolina.
South Carolina, pave your fucking roads.
Parts is proud to bring you the second round of the NASCAR playoffs at Richmond Raceway.
We hope you
Welcome to
enjoy
the FAP 400, the Federated Auto Parts 400, the FAP 400.
Federated Car Care Associates. Drivers, start your engines.
Start your fapping.
Engines are fired.
We got the bet on Truex. $2 on Truex, if I'm not mistaken.
Tonight, he starts 14th. What will Martin Truex Jr. have for maybe the hottest driver, Kevin Harvick, here at the short track?
Oh, I'm so happy Kyle Busch's playoffs are not off to that great of a start. He's got to start in the back after having a meh day last week. If we can get Kyle Busch knocked out in the first round, which I doubt, but if we can, good things will happen. 2020 can still be salvaged if Kyle Busch does not make it out of the first round of the playoffs. Black Sabbath. Oh shit, I fucked up. Not gonna start that again this week, am I? Sounds good. Sounds even better. Too bad I can't put them together in the right order. This race better not suck, okay? I like how this playoff is supposed to get fucking intense. Well, get intense. Don't be boring. Well, we know Bristol next week won't be boring. Richmond is honestly hit and miss, and I don't know why. Richmond should be good every year. But we have had some just dog shit Richmond races, even with low downforce. Like, I can't figure it out. Still, it'll be better than last year, because last year was high downforce. Thank God it's back to low downforce. I think we stand a better chance of seeing a good race with low downforce. That's pretty much obvious. The fuck is he watching in the living room? Dude in that movie looks like John Bon Jovi, but I'm pretty sure it's not. It's not nearly pretentious enough to be John Bon Jovi.
Beautiful looking car there.
That's a beautiful looking car. You heard Rick Allen.
Let's take a look at tonight's starting grid, brought to you by Toyota. Jeff.
5 Richmond wins, represented on the front row with Kevin Harvick, Bakersfield, California. Joe Logano from Middleton, Connecticut.
You know what I've discovered? Going to the gym late at night. We leave the gym at like 2 in the morning, and we're kind of hungry just to get a little something to eat to recharge after the workout. And every goddamn where is closed except Waffle House. Because as you know, coronavirus only comes out after 11 o'clock at night. So you got to close up before 11 or you might get that virus. It only comes out after 11. It's very brave of Waffle House to stay open. Even fucking Walmart closes at 11. We can't even get anything there. So that's a real inconvenience.
Problems with inspection. All right,
I never understood the whole shortening of the hours thing. That's not going to do anything. Boy, Clint Boyer's paint scheme is nice. Something different, too. It's pretty much Briscoe's paint scheme. So what's with the white numbers on Truex's door? Is that significant, or is that just a random change?
Martin, you got us? NBC booth.
Yeah, I got you, Bert.
Hey, buddy, you won the last 2 races here. How much confidence do you have coming into this race?
Well, plenty of confidence, in what the guys are doing and what we've been doing lately speed-wise. So, every year and no practice, so we'll just have to see how it is. But, long race here, all can happen. Hopefully, take care of it all night, be around the end.
All right, buddy, thank you for letting us ride along. Good luck to you.
Appreciate it.
That was quick and awkward.
Right along with a few, one of those being that 19.
Why did Natalie Decker block you on Instagram? Were you sending unsolicited pictures of your penis again? Because we told you not to do that.
Another guy that has to be a favorite heading in, the winner from last week, the 4 of Kevin Harvick with the Hunt Brothers Pizza onboard camera. Chesterfield, Virginia's Denny Hamlin has the Coca-Cola camera. And South Bend, Indiana's Ryan Newman has one of my favorite cameras that we carry on these race cars, the left front bumper cam. Hopefully he runs into somebody with that thing so we'll get some great action.
Well, we're at a short track, so that's...
Well, it's Ryan Newman. That front bumper cam is bound to be gone by the end of the day.
That's a good point. Those cars are always wide.
Don't lie to me, Doom.
There it is. See, we're going to look at this one too, Rick.
That's a good view also. And I'm sure we'll see quite a bit of that this evening, looking back from the bumper of Ryan Newman. Let's go back to pit road. And Dave.
And Rick, as they check their pit road speed here.
You just said what happened in the truck race.
Fifth tonight, which is awesome.
You're just a hater, Doom.
Into the playoffs at the play-in race.
Quit hating on Natalie Decker.
Putting the 24 solidly in the playoffs and finishing 5th last week at Darlington. What a great
You're
start.
just a hater.
The good news is now, the hard part though is he's only 9 points above the cut line. I think we talked about it already. It is so close. You've got to be perfect, Parker.
Well, Dave, Kyle Busch there should be starting.
Kyle Busch got to start dead fucking last.
Does not have his crew chief Adam Stevens, who was suspended.
I barely pay. I didn't see the truck race at all. I saw who won.
But he is not starting in 6th place. He's actually starting the rear after they failed.
I saw Johnny Sauter was about to commit suicide during the race or something. Yeah, you're not a hater. I mean, it's not hating when you're just stating the facts.
Advantage for those first 40 laps over everyone else who didn't run that Xfinity race, Marty.
Parker, go back 1 week ago. There was a lot of drama at the end of the Darlington race between Martin Truex Jr. and Chase Elliott. Earlier this week, Chase was asked, hey, will there be any payback? You're on a short track. You could. Chase downplayed it, said, nope. Martin and I have a lot of respect.
Why would anybody be like, oh, I'm going to get him? If you're going to pay somebody back, of course you ain't going to fucking talk about it. Certainly not to Marty Snyder. I wouldn't tell that dude shit. He's got a big mouth.
He told me, I don't need anything flashy.
It's kind of his job, though, I guess.
Improve on what we've done in the past, and I feel good about our shot at Bristol to advance to round 2.
Oh, yeah, Elliott's going to be tough at Bristol. That might win some money
Kevin Harvick leading this field.
next Saturday.
We talked to him earlier this week. I told him about how his crew chief.
This is how it ought to be. NASCAR on Saturday nights, so football can have Sundays. More of this. Talladega needs lots. Charlotte Road Course needs to be at night.
BS on that because there's no way he can't keep his hands off those cars. He wants to make sure everything is just right. He said he called his best race ever.
All right.
We'll see what
Harvick, Logano, Austin Dillon, Alex Bowman. Boogity, boogity, boogity. You ain't heard that all year. Harvick's going to lead every goddamn lap of this stage.
Still amazed how aggressive these
Really
drivers
clean
are.
start.
No practice. First laps on the track, driving to turn 1 with full confidence.
We ain't had a big fuck up on the initial start in a long time. Like, we ain't had a big pile up. I'm talking like 2004 All-Star Race Open kind of deal. Ain't seen that in a while.
This is the first time they've been here in 2020.
And on top of that, this aero package on these cars have way less downforce.
Janet Guthrie.
So all these drivers are
Got any more racing reference trivia involving someone like Janet Guthrie?
Completely different than last year. And off turn 4, Clint Boyer almost got it.
Like I said, you got to brace yourself tonight. Richmond has been very hit and miss over the years. Wouldn't surprise me if this race sucked. Wouldn't surprise me if it was good.
The front stretch never straight. You're always turning through the front stretch here at Richmond.
Can't figure out this track.
We talked about that earlier in the Xfinity race. That's spun out the flag stand one time here.
Oh, yeah, Dale Jr. was the lead announcer in the Xfinity race today.
But it's tough here.
Weird decisions being made over at NBC. But I like it.
As you get going late into the run,
Very bold.
you won't be wide open until you get to the flag
Harvick, Logano, and Austin Dillon have kind of gapped the rest of the field. Yes, you heard that right. Austin Dillon is running with Logano and Harvick in the top 3.
Kyle Busch in the 95.
Kyle Busch is only up to 30th.
Working their way up through the field after starting at the back. One advantage both of these cars will have, Rick, will be that competition yellow on or around lap 30. That's
25 laps till the competition caution.
Here at Richmond, regardless of
that we don't need.
Kevin Harvick, clean air. The leader's coming.
But guys will pick 'cause it's Cup and we have more tires.
We also have to remember that Kyle Busch is going to possibly miss out on stage points. He's going to have to work hard to get himself into the top 10 to finish out this stage. Another thing drivers are learning is how much of these tires fall off on speed. In the Xfinity races, before this race, we saw major fall off in tire speed. As the run goes on, the drivers are going to have
Dennis
to
of
learn how
Hamilton
hard they can push their
trying to
cars
crack the top
before they
5.
run, and what the price is to pay
Ham
if
sandwich.
you push them too hard.
What do you like better, Dennis of Hamilton or ham sandwich?
Denny Hamlin, one of the best on short tracks.
FedEx cares.
Here,
That's a nice paint scheme, though.
track, Chesterfield just-
Finally, a different paint scheme for Denny Hamlin as opposed to the 25 others that just have a word different on the side of the car.
How long he's out of the gas through these turns.
I think that's what makes Denny Hamlin such a good short track racer. Although his resume would say he can win anywhere. When I think of Denny, I think of the short tracks.
It really is amazing how much we don't pay attention to the non-playoff drivers in the playoffs. It's like they're just ghost riding around out there. Because I haven't even been like, where's Jimmy Johnson running? Like, no point anymore. You really are a second-hand citizen if you don't make it.
No, you imagine some guys may be trying to save some tire here, but the 24 car looks like he's struggling on drive-off early in this race.
Let's hang on for 20 more laps.
Steve, when he says save tires, as a crew chief, are you limited for this race?
You have 8 sets in the pits, which is more than enough to do the race. You know, you break it up about every 50 laps, 45 laps. The big question is how many yellers are we going to have? When do you want to put them
He said,
on?
how many yellers are we going to have?
Tires on for the competition yellow. When I think of safe tires here, it's not just physical tires in the pits, but I'm telling my driver, hey, don't spin the tires ridiculous. You know, just go as fast as the car can go. Anytime you slide a tire, whether it's the front tire sliding or the rear tire spinning.
Even the Joe Gibbs Racing Twitter account ignores Eric Jones' existence now. Have you guys noticed that?
That's interesting. Normally we see the fronts glowing quicker.
And Steve, if the 24 driver was your driver, he would have just radioed in and told you to cross the center of the corner. That car will not turn the way they want it to. Henry Motorsports has struggled here the last couple of years, and they hope they got it right tonight. But so far for the 24, he's losing positions instead of gaining.
The key to Richmond, from the crew chief standpoint, is turn the middle of the corner. If it changes direction in the middle of the corner, that allows me to help so many other things. You loosen, gets better.
Harvick's pulling away from Logano, and Austin Dillon's putting pressure on Logano for second. Way to go, Austin Dillon. He's so overachieving. I can't hate on the little bastard. He's actually overachieving. Yes, he started with good track position. That has a lot to do with it. But he's the kind of guy who tends to take advantage of good track position. He doesn't immediately drop like a lead balloon.
Surprised me. Most guys have less left rear braking and Jeff to help that loosening condition.
The biggest concern with the 24, see
Austin Dillon really putting the pressure on Logano. Hey, Ozzy.
But the biggest concern with that 24 car is you can actually see how
Ozzy was asleep in the attic for like 3 hours today.
Joe Logano dealing with the same
It's his own little world up there. I can't even see him.
Austin Dillon, such a good run.
And there's Austin Dillon to second. Give it up.
Early in this race,
15 laps in, Austin Dillon is second.
Marty.
And Jeff, at the beginning of the playoffs, Austin Dillon told me we're going to surprise.
Will they be good enough to make adjustments and keep up with Harvick and Logano? I doubt it. That's like their biggest weak spot. The teams like that can show up and unload with speed, but they just can't keep it up throughout the race as the better teams do a better job of adjusting. Who's in the 3 Casgrove? Yeah, you think? No, it's Dale himself. He's back.
Was Austin Dillon saying that from the cockpit of the car. Steve, I think honestly a lot of people had Austin Dillon out after round 1. This RCR team.
I kind of still do.
In the second race of round 1.
Marty, we had this conversation, you know, storylines, we talk about the playoffs, but in the end, Rick, results. They give points for where you finish. I know that sounds silly, but we see upsets in other sports.
Captain Obvious checks in at lap 17. They give points for where you finish. That's good to know. Certainly makes things easier to track. Harvick, Dillon, Logano, Hamlin, Bowman. The FAP 400. I'll be right back. and we have milkshake. Boy, don't you just wish, well, Richard Childress should have been smarter and treated Kevin Harvick better. Don't you think? Doing something I never do. Hold on. I actually ate the cherry that came with the milkshake. Pretty good. It's always been that weirdo. It's like, man, I love artificially cherry flavored stuff, but not the actual thing. I've got to drink some of this before it fucking spills over the sides. Gotta say, Sonic, that's kind of a weak mixing job there. Dude, you're in a NASCAR stream, you don't know who Janet Guthrie is? I'm going to have to ban you now. I'm sorry. I'm kidding. I'm amazed that we have done this all year, and I can't remember one single asshole showing up in my stream.
Well, the guy who maybe nobody's looking for right now, Austin Dillon, is in front right now.
Austin Dillon took the lead. What?
Got to show up in the postseason, and that's what he's doing. He just pulls.
Okay, Austin Dillon's leading. I didn't even notice that on the leaderboard during commercial.
Basically concedes the spot.
Didn't even need lap traffic. He just straight up passed Harvick for the lead.
Here's on board with Kevin Harvick as the pass takes place.
Not bad up there. More higher than that, though.
Gets some information from the spotter about the groove to run. It's not bad up there. We've seen some other cars gaining some speed. The 22 car using the high side to advance himself into second place. Austin Dillon had a top 10 here.
Yeah, Logano to second. Harvick's fading. 6 laps till the competition caution, huh?
Led here at Richmond Raceway. And Steve, you made the comment, kind of that underdog role. Well, this is what Austin Dillon had to say during media day.
Hopefully the guy that you don't see coming wins it all. I want to be that
I
guy
doubt it.
Upset everybody and make it a 2020 championship. I don't care what year it is. I just want a trophy.
There it is. The guy you don't expect. And right now, I don't think a lot of people were expecting the three of Austin Dillon to be up here. As a matter of fact, I remember to the show, the pre-race show, NASCAR American pre-race show, they put the odds up there, the Vegas odds. Austin Dillon wasn't anywhere near the top of the odds.
I believe Michael made a bet on Austin Dillon. Michael, if you're here, I believe you said during the Xfinity race you put some money on Austin Dillon tonight. Good call.
Confident heading into this race. Just feels like that they know what it takes to win here. And he feels like the experience of this race and of these moments and of this track is going to pay a huge dividend. Marty, what do you have on him?
Well, same car they had in New Hampshire. They dominated the race there for Brad Keselowski, but I love what he told
Oh, no wonder Brad's fast. It says the same car he won New Hampshire with.
About tonight, you know, to be honest, like nervously good about this race. And he said, in fact, the quote was, if we don't come here and dominate the race and win, I will leave very, very disappointed. Brad Keselowski putting a lot of thought into this race, a lot of effort into this race. In fact, last night at 11 p.m., he was texting Jeremy Boland saying, tomorrow we're going to go there and win this race. That's how much confidence Brad Keselowski.
Well, if I'd have known that, I would have told Michael to make Brad my bet. Because he was at lower odds than Truex.
Yeah, Marty tried to do it before the competition caution. Steve had mentioned that's going to be coming out in or around lap 4 or 30. So we're there now. And
Truex is doing a whole lot of nothing.
Trying to take that spot. I laughed when he told us that. You know,
started 14th, running 13th, and there's the
good,
competition caution coming out.
Racetrack and what they think they can do, trying to get third away before the competition caution comes out. It doesn't look like it's going to happen though, as Harvick's still holding on to that spot and the competition caution has come out. Parker.
Oh, guys, Kyle Busch, we noted, started at the back moved up 15 spots all the way up to 21st place, which is not surprising to see him cutting through the field. But it is, when you hear kind of how he described that car in terms of actually even spinning the tires down the front straightaway, you're going to have to do a little work in there, but definitely making serious headway early on.
Yeah, his tire doesn't seem to really lay down a lot of rubber on the racetrack, and you'll just spin the tires on the long run, literally all the way down the straightaway. You can, you're turning, just kind of carrying the left rear tire a little bit.
Chad Knaus, 700th race that he is crew chief tonight.
So impressive. I mean, 81 wins and 700 starts. I learned so much from Chad. I worked next to him.
Steve Letarte learned a lot getting his ass whooped by Chad.
Taught me so much about working on a race car, dialing the race car in. He's so good with the details. We used to joke, if you had one of the tests that was way, way off, I could get it closer. If you had one that was close, you want to make it great, Chad was your guy. He was so good at those last couple changes, and that's the reason why, someone like Chad is so successful. 7 championships, and I think that's why you're starting to see this momentum with William Byron. I can give a lot of credit to Chad Knaus. William's a heck of a race car driver, but someone has to lead him, and I think Chad's just that guy.
Great mentor for William Byron to have, and William Byron also a milestone, 100 starts for William Byron in that 24 car.
That to me is crazy. I don't know. Doesn't seem like he's got 50 starts in the Cup Series. I'm just flying by for these guys.
Here comes the field onto pit road, led by race leader Austin Dillon. And first we'll go to Marty.
And they're going to come all the way to the front end of pit road. These top 3 guys. Kevin Harvick, bottom of your screen, says, I can roll the center. Okay, I can get back to the throttle. Okay, but at the 5/8 mark of the corner, I lose my forward drive. Joey Logano's going to hit his stall first of these guys. He said, turn 4 exit is my biggest problem. 2-3 there for Logano. And Austin Dillon, the leader, coming to
Austin Dillon, the leader. Everybody just take this in, man. Enjoy it. Because I don't think it's going to last very long. He's going to keep the lead off pit road. It's a hell of a stop. God damn. 12.4. And they come out just how they came in up front.
Just talked about all 3 holding their positions.
Very nice. Wow. Oh, hey, Alice. Good Lord, I ain't seen you around in a while. It's going reasonably well. Eating a milkshake. It's my one unhealthy thing I get to eat a week now. And I doubt I even finish this thing, because it's fucking huge. It's okay, now that I'm eating some of this, I'm going to work out like 3 times as much after this race. Because I feel pretty good, because for the last almost 2 weeks, it really sucked because I was doing 90 minutes at a time on the exercise bike, and I'd get up to like 18 to 20 miles, depending on how fast I was. I would always go fast near the end. So that sucked, and then I backed it back down to like 35 to 45 minutes a day, but I can go faster for 35 to 45 minutes, so it's kind of getting the same effect. But I may have to push myself to do over an hour tonight just because I'm eating this pile of shit. It's only the second thing I've had today, though. Man, trying to like get back to my skinnier form is really hard. I give myself credit though. I've never been a proper fat ass, but when I get to that point where I feel like I'm getting dangerously close, I'm always like, oh shit, I gotta lose weight, and I start busting ass. So I can trust myself to never be a proper fat ass. Can't fix how my face looks, but I can fix the rest of me. I just can't afford a good plastic surgeon, that's all. So guys, I'm thinking about doing cocaine. I heard that's a good way to get skinny.
Race 2 from Richmond Raceway, telecast presented.
Take some diet pills, throw up my dinner.
The official app of
we're mulling over all our options.
And live in-car cameras right at your fingertips. tips, go to NASCAR.com/mobile. You can unlock premium content today with a free trial and free experience. Parker, we saw the 12 of Blaney come back onto pit road. What were they doing?
Right, Rick did a tough start for the 12 car to the playoffs. We noted Darlington last week didn't go great.
Well, I don't think Blaney's getting stage points in this stage.
They immediately came back down. Todd Gordon saw
Wow, could that team be any more of a disaster?
Only back from 33rd to up this stage to try to
12 team can't even start a race without having a problem.
2 weeks in a row, guys.
Yeah, this is a racetrack that Blaney, if you look at his numbers, he's just not very good. Told me earlier today that he has put a ton.
They tried to say Blaney ain't good at Bristol. I mean, other than that time he was dominating the race and got wrecked by a lap car.
Field approaching the Geico restart zone. Dylan Logano making up row 1.
Dylan, Logano, Hamlin, Harvick. Good start for Dylan. Good start for Hamlin, that's rare.
Lost to Dylan, but here comes Logano working that high line. Denny Hamlin right there behind the 3. The choose rule in effect.
I'm banking on Truex just becoming a god by the end of the race.
Fight for second still.
Oh, Hamlin going for the lead.
Great run here as he looks to the inside.
Well, I told you the Austin Dillon thing went last. Hamlin would be my second pick, but I wanted to try to make a little more money.
Right away with Austin Dillon. That put him in position to be able to contest for second place.
And Hamlin to the
Take
lead.
that away from the 22.
And here comes Logano to second.
Trying to stay in front of Logano. Logano had a big run off.
There you go, first chance to adjust, and all of a sudden Austin Dillon can't hang on to it.
Opening him off before. Logano was staying right there with him. It's a good move right there for Austin Dillon. It's too early in these runs to make the outside work when everybody gets strung out. Go ahead and get yourself back on the bottom of the racetrack.
Kevin Harvick's probably thinking to himself, how funny would it be if I just wiped that 3 car out right now?
This racetrack, you're rewarded for driving in the corner deep, but if you drive in 1 foot too deep, your car does not do what it needs to do. It's very much a rhythm racetrack.
No, Harvick's not the kind of guy to hold a grudge.
Alex Bowman, those 2 teammates fighting for position.
Smell the sarcasm.
Now in the 88, Byron still looking on the inside of the 24.
See Byron right there, just a little bit off that yellow line.
Hey, Chase Elliott's reared his pretty face into the top 10 finally.
This is that group of cars from 7th to about 14th, all playoff cars, Rick. You know, who is going to stand out? Who's going to find a way out of this pack, this cluster
Word to Benedetto.
up into the top 5? You know, it seems like the same group.
Oh, there he is.
Together, your Bowmans, your Byrons,
Just outside the top 10.
Boyers, you know, they're just there together so often.
And Steve, remember at the end of the first stage, points are awarded. So top 10.
Hey, did you hear that? Rick Allen, Captain Obvious again. Points are awarded at the end of the stage.
Maybe even below it.
You see this weekend here at Richmond, this second groove is pretty competitive. And you watch the 41 car really hold off a possibly quicker race car. And Chase Elliott on that bottom will probably take that position back. I mean, they can really fight on that outside line. And it's making it difficult for guys like Truex and so forth to work their way through the field.
Truex jumped on the inside of Kurt Busch, and that created a gap. So as soon as
Truex getting a little better.
Cole Custer, as soon as he saw that,
Elliott and Truex had really slow starts here, but they're starting to get a little better.
Covered that spot up. Now Truex is going to be on the attack of him, though.
Do you put the bumper to somebody early? Or do you wait? Do you have patience in this first stage?
Well, it depends on who you're racing.
You have a car that you feel is really good. I don't think you can really afford to be running into people at this point in the race. There's too many laps left. Too much to lose trying to get in the playoffs.
I think Chase Elliott gets run into so much because he might as well be wearing a sign on his back that says, please run me over because I'm not going to do anything about it.
Mark Truex Jr. currently sits 9th and only plus 16. In my mind, he's had such a great year. I know he's got to win. We just have always seen him with so many more playoff points. He's a guy, you know, you would think he's safe. He's anything but safe.
Just right along. All right, it's only 9 laps after the caution, after the restart rather. On the front straightaway, he's not wide open until the start-finish line. On the front straightaway, that is amazing. Think about that, guys. Think how bad these cars are going to drive later in the run. So you can see down the back. Now he gets full.
You know, I'm really glad I have a TV and a computer. So when the Falcons game starts pissing me off tomorrow, I can just watch the other game on the television.
Just touches the throttle. Now a little more throttle. Now a little more throttle.
Really could have used this computer during last year's football season.
Only 10 laps in. 40 laps in. Let's go back and revisit and see how much work he's having to do to get those rear tires hooked up. How about it, Parker?
Oh, guys, just ahead of him there, Cole Custer. How can you not be impressed with this rookie who gets in the playoffs off that win and that spectacular move at Kentucky?
You gotta get smaller milkshakes next time. I probably cannot finish this though.
And now goes to Richmond, only his second time in a cup car here. No practice and is running in the top 10. I just think he's continuing to...
See, I've progressed to the point where I'm what they call a frail whale. Not quite as small as I want to be yet, but still big enough to think, oh, this guy can eat a lot, but it's getting to the point where I'm like, oh, I can't finish this.
This crew chief came small today, and that's what they had the luxury of maybe not worrying about that small gap down to the cut line because they've run so well.
Hey, Truex, just imagine the points you would have had if you didn't drive like a jackass last week. Just imagine.
And we're not going to change anything now. They expect to get...
He lost a good 25 points doing that.
They've been fast everywhere.
As we continue to ride on board with Truex, Rick, what I'm noticing here as a crew chief is just how equal everyone is. I'm making notes. I knew it was going to be a tough race. You had to be efficient on pit road, make good decisions. Well, this just reinforces it. There are still good cars and slow cars, but you know we saw Blaney have an issue. He's mired all the way back at 25th still. You just
Only
can't
30 to go in stage 1. Although I'm pretty sure stage 2 is like almost twice as long or something. Because they fucked with the stage length.
Johnson, a little bit of action going into turn 1.
Oh, hey, there's Jimmy Johnson. He still exists.
He's already caught
He still exists,
the
people.
right rear before this. Has real heavy damage to the right rear quarter panel.
And uncharacteristic this season, we've seen mistakes out of Jimmy Johnson. He's just making mental mistakes.
Austin Dillon
Don't know if that's how
making a pass for second.
getting out of
He only dropped to third. Now he's back to second.
damages to the
Wow, way to go, Austin Dillon.
quarter panel as things heating up here once again
As cynical as I am,
to Jimmy Johnson's.
I like seeing RCR do well. Jimmy Johnson's got some right rear damage there. That looks pretty
That's a sensitive area as well.
significant,
Thinking of short
just
track
because of
like
the area of
this.
the car that
You
it's
see how
on.
small that rear is for.
But he doesn't matter. He's not in the playoffs. So, how's Harvick doing? Fifth.
Kevin Harvick, Logano, they're fighting for position. Hamlin.
Ham Sandwich is out front. Silver Spoon, Dipshit, Kevin Harvick, and Horseface, the top 5. Almost had a nickname for every guy in that group. The whole Brad Keselowski Horseface thing is not that original, though. Damn. Chocolatey. Sunday Night Football commercial. Of course, you know, the Rams are opening their new stadium. So anytime there's a new stadium opening, they try to make that a Sunday night game early in the year. And it's like, okay, the Rams are opening. Who's on their schedule? Cowboys! It always has to be the fucking Cowboys. We opened our new stadium against the Packers a couple years ago, but that's just literally because I don't think the Cowboys... Were they on... No, wait. Yes, they were. We whooped the Cowboys' ass that year. What am I thinking? We played Dallas in Atlanta and whooped their ass. Like 27-7 or some shit, but they had the Packers open up our stadium against us. But every other time a stadium open, it's Cowboys. Cowboys, Cowboys, Cowboys. We live an hour and 30 minutes from the track. Well, this race going well for you so far. It's really going well for Austin Dillon, though. Anytime this dude's not running 15th or worse, shit's going well.
Sure, if Hamlin wins here tonight, he will give Jeff Burton a lot to talk about on Wednesday when he joins the gang. NBC Sports on Sirius XM, Wednesday morning, 9 a.m. on NASCAR Radio Channel 90, talking about, obviously, the action track in Richmond Raceway, in your home state, Jeff, and then also
the action track where it's never a guarantee that something interesting is going to happen.
Talk to those guys, join them, and see what the talk of the town is.
The short track that thinks it's a mile and a half. That ought to be the slogan.
Quite a little battle right here. Guys using a lot of different lines around the corner.
Hey, Boyer, you want to fuck off?
With William Byron there.
Running all over William Byron. Looked like he tried to hook him down the backstretch. Fucking idiot. I'm getting about fed up with this Clint Boyer, Brett Griffin bullshit. We get it. You're overrated. You've never really done anything. You're frustrated because you're old and probably going to lose your ride soon. It sucks. It sucks to be Clint Boyer. I know it does. To be in the best equipment in the fucking garage and not be able to contend for a win. I know. It sucks.
It's hard racing, guys. Richmond.
A little hard for 60 laps into a 400-lap race, but whatever.
Trying to make that pass on the bottom. Behind them, Mark Trix Jr. slowly worked himself into the top 10.
Oh, God, you're between Boyer and Truex. What are you going to do? Neither one of them knows what clear means. Or not clear.
9 and the 19 are pretty close to each other. It's a short track, and do you have a short memory?
Rick, it's too fucking early.
Remember all the way back to Darlington a week ago, and what happened between the 9.
Oh, how could we forget?
Chase Elliott was out front.
They jerked that off all week on television.
Trix Jr. was fighting for the lead, went by him, but didn't quite clear him, and they both got collected into the wall.
Well,
I was so flustered I didn't even know what to say when that shit happened.
Both of them out. Kind of takes a little bit of the sting. I think that lessens the potential that it carries over to a race like this. Certainly, Chase won't put him any brakes. I don't see Chase as the kind of guy that will take retaliatory action should they get close together. At least not. Maybe with 5 laps to go, it might be a little different. I was say you might want to ask Hamlin about that.
That has been a little bit of an interesting story with the 9 at Chase Elliott.
Let's go back, check in with Kyle Busch. Y'all know he had to start in the back of the pack. He's worked himself up. He's racing Matty.
Don't let him get stage points. He's 16th right now with 15 to go in the stage.
Well, Jeff, that's the interesting thing. Up until the competition caution,
Hey, Matt Kenseth's running the top 15. He's 14th. Ricky Stenhouse, 12th. Cole Custer, 11th.
The competition gets higher, but I think the handle on that car might be going right. Take a listen to what he had to say on the radio. And he's losing tires of field. He expanded on that a little later and said, it feels like I'm going 80%, but I'm not being rewarded for it later on. And that's a really tough place to be. Because as a driver, you want to be saving those tires, taking care of them, making
Blame Goodyear.
rewarded later in that run, and start to feel that when you start to be faster than others. And if you're not, that can be very frustrating.
I know he's going to be frustrated that he perhaps isn't going to score stage points with only 13 laps to go and sitting in the 13th position in this stage. But I don't think this is bad progress. He's up inside, sitting 15th. He's up inside the top 15. As Parker said, the competition gets stiffer. You talked about, Rick, how equal all these cars are. He can at least see them. There's so much of the race left.
Lap 69. Here we go.
That number 80% because when we talked to him earlier this week, he said that number. He said 80% was the
I think if 76 fuel had rebranded to 69, they'd still be in business.
We make maybe 5 to 10% on them.
You'd see the big thing, you know, on the rotating, whatchamacallit, outside the racetracks or near pit road that said 76 and said it says 69.
Proud of how they make the improvements, but just as you mentioned, they start behind, they make gains, but they don't start close enough to get better than.
The one I'm concerned about right now of our playoff drivers is Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney.
Yeah, shit's not going well for Ryan Blaney. He's 25th.
Back up to 25th, and his lap times are a solid 0.4 of a second slower.
Oh, wait, Jimmy Johnson's 28th.
Than the leader. So Ryan Blaney, this team, they're struggling. We're here, and he's very tight. Carter won't turn very well. They're going to have some serious work to do right here if they're going to get where they need to be.
And it's interesting, you look at his teammates, Logano and Keselowski, they're running 3rd and 4th right now. So might be fighting the same thing, but they definitely have the track position compared to what Ryan Blaney has.
Out of the lead.
Austin Dillon has the best car on the long run.
Seemed to have a little bit more speed. Right the corner into the center.
He's better in the corner and through the center, and over the course of the long run, he's really good.
Talk about a lot of the playoff drivers
Is this real life?
during these races. Well,
Oh, and as of now, he's 40 points ahead of the cut line.
Who's not a playoff driver, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in that 47 car climbing through the field.
Look at the lines, how different the 3 and the 11. Look at how different they are. Denny Hamlin just all over that yellow line. Austin Dillon drives in the corner, lets it go up the racetrack in the middle, then turns it and gets it on the bottom. Marty, what do you have on Austin Dillon?
Well, Jeff, fairly consistently, Austin Dillon, to Junior's point, has been a little bit quicker than Denny Hamlin. 7 laps to go, and a playoff point will be awarded. So Austin certainly wants to get that. He's been very happy with the car.
You can burn it up all you want. There's only 6 laps to go here.
Games there in the center of 3 and 4. Hey, Steve, remember a few weeks ago at the Kansas race, I was at the Command Center at RCR. I think for those Command Center guys, they can take the night off tonight because
he's there. Well, he overdrove the corner a little bit, and Hamlin pulled away off, but that was as close as he's been.
Yeah, how is he able to drive so much deeper into the corner than Denny Hamlin is?
Yeah, because he's not trying to just stay on the yellow line. Denny is being Denny.
5 to go in the stage. Truex and Elliott are battling it out for 8th. There's a lap car. That should help Elliott. Well, here's Clint Boyer's slow ass. That's going to help Truex.
But as it turns right here, he's able to accelerate and leave the corner.
God damn it, we need every point we can get thanks to this dipshit who cost us. Elliott put the bumper to Boyer. Hit him harder, Chase. Don't lift.
Clint Boyer clears that sandwich.
A little bumping and banging down there for position. That's about
Hit him harder. He's a dipshit.
And here comes Mark Truex Jr. in the middle.
Truex going to get blocked by the 77. He's loose off the corner. Ooh, we can't pin him behind the traffic. God damn it, Elliott just lost 2 points on one fucking lap. Well, he's going to gain one of them back here. I think he's going to get by Boyer on the outside following Truex.
Difference in speed of the cars that are around him. Clint drives into the corner.
Whatever you do, don't drive into 3 on his door. He's a fucking moron. Ooh, Elliott got to look under Truex. Come on, Chase. That's 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Stenhouse, fuck off. You don't matter, Stenhouse.
Fighting for positions. Under 3 laps to go in stage 1.
Hamlin's got a half a second on Austin Dillon. That battle's calmed down.
It looked like Boyer was in big trouble, and somehow he's found some speed here. But he's holding that line up. Look at Stenhouse.
There's a good run off the corner for Truex and Elliott.
He lost a lot of grip, a lot of drive off of turn 4, and loses 2 positions.
2 positions for now, 2 to go on the stage. Yeah, they're about to parade around Boyer on the outside of him. And there they go. And here comes Stenhouse with him. Yeah. Fuck off.
They could be huge through these playoffs.
Well, and if he falls one more spot back.
1 to go on the stage.
The next one behind him, if he loses that position, he would fall outside the top 10, which then he would get no stage points.
Solid night for Cole Custer so far.
All right, Denny Hamlin wins stage 1. Austin Dillon second. Good points day for him so far. See, that was good racing.
Denny Hamlin, he'll win stage 1. The 8th time that he has won a stage. The fight's still on here. Here comes Cole Custer.
God, Custer's sideways trying to get 10th.
Inside of the 14, Clint Boyer, and so Boyer hangs on for that.
Well, that was fun.
So the hometown hero, and that's what he is tonight, Denny Hamlin, wins stage 1.
Denny Hamlin ain't no hero. Because heroes threaten to wreck underfunded race teams. That's what heroes do. So no, Denny Hamlin is not a hero. Apparently, Jimmy Johnson's damage came from contact with Bubba Wallace. I just saw that on the leaderboard thing. But he's not in the playoffs, so ain't nobody giving a fuck. It's always my favorite time of year when Danica was racing because you really couldn't talk about the bitch in the playoffs because she was never in it. Think about it. Everybody that's driven a cup race for Stewart-Haas Racing, Tony Stewart, Ryan Newman, Clint Boyer, Almirola, Harvick, they've all won cup races except Danica. Ooh, that was the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. It's a Disney commercial or something. Now, I was actually thinking yesterday, I'm like, I ain't watched the Harry Potter movies in like 8 years. I wouldn't mind watching them again if I can get through them with a straight face. I don't know what it is. I can watch Star Wars, I can watch the Marvel movies and all that cool shit, and I love every minute of it. I watch Harry Potter and I'm trying not to like roll my eyes and laugh. It's like, who comes up with this shit? And I admit, that's very hypocritical, because like I said, look at all the other dumb shit I do. Or like that dipshit Armada would say, you watch NASCAR. Yeah, I do.
Progressive. Stay on track with great rates at Progressive.com. Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. Perfect for race fans. And by FanDuel. More ways to win. Stage 1 completes. NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. Richmond is telecast presented by Toyota.
We saw Ryan Blaney's team have a misstep in the first round of pit stops. Can the playoff cars stay clean on the second round of pit stops, Dave?
The three-time Richmond winner, Denny Hamlin, slides to a stop in his pit stall. He said the adjustments they made the first time gave him a gain a little bit everywhere. So just a little bit more or Goodyear tires and Sunoco fuel, Marty.
Joey Logano finishes third in stage 1, Dave. He said a little too tight in the middle, but the forward drive was better on that run for the 22 car. Meanwhile, Austin Dillon, I honestly drove it too hard and created a push by how hard I was driving trying to catch the 11 car. He said I also lost forward drive, but the team building his confidence, saying, hey, you've been doing a fantastic
A meh pit stop for Austin Dillon. He's going to lose some spots here. Well, he just lost one spot. That's not that bad. Actually, two. He came out fourth. Hamlin, Logano, Harvick, Dillon, Keselowski. Kyle Busch in the top 10 because of a great pit stop. Schedule this for every week. Yeah, but then Aaron Rodgers dumped her ass, Jeff. So did she really win? Another person in the long line of people that Aaron Rodgers is disappointed off the field. I'll be right back. I'm not going to finish this fucking milkshake. It's kind of gross now. Well, I can feel better about myself. I didn't even eat the whole thing. Try to get the smaller ones next time if I'm not going to eat the fucking large one anymore. Or maybe I should just not get them at all anymore. Be better. But a milkshake sounded pretty fucking good an hour ago, so. I feel like I'm a recovering addict or something. I think I finally relate to dumbass drug addicts who get out of rehab and are trying not to, like, drug out. Because I find myself late at night going, I'm bored. I should get something to eat. And it's like, no, you're not hungry. You're just bored. It's a good thing I grew up poor, or I probably would have been a fat ass if I didn't grow up poor. Many advantages to growing up poor.
And so during the playoffs,
If you could tolerate it.
Between now and the championship week in Phoenix, we will also be celebrating 16 pit crew all-stars and their very special stories and talents. For one of those, Marty Snyder was on pit road.
We will be celebrating failed football players for the next 16 weeks.
State football player, but he also had a run in the NFL too, a year and a half.
See what I tell you, failed football players.
Football team where he was
Washington football. The Washington, whatever the fuck you want to call them.
after that, and he was working a valet job in Atlanta when a buddy said, "Hey."
Oh, no wonder he played at Appalachian State.
4 years later, here he is now working for Chip Ganassi Racing, an athletics run deep in the Kimbrough family. His mom, Lisa, earned 2 national championships at Tennessee, one as a player for Pat Summitt, one as a graduate assistant. His dad, Charles, played football at Tennessee. He sealed the
I think Philadelphia is going to stomp the shit out of Washington tomorrow.
And his sister, Jayla, starts her basketball
The more I look at
career
compare the
Boston
rosters,
G
but that's
this
another
season.
story.
I asked him earlier today, I said, "Hey, what's tougher, a pit stop or stopping an NFL running back?" He said, "Oh, pit stop by far." He said, "I've been playing football my whole life long, and this pit stop thing is new to me." And so Junior, he said the toughest guy he ever tackled in the NFL, Alfred Morris, a former guy you loved with your
Alfred Morris, that dude was a beast. What happened to him?
football team this year. Obviously, Kimbrough used to play for them. They got a new coach this year, right? Coach Rivera coaching now for the Washington football team, Junior.
Yeah, everybody's excited. Everybody's excited in DC.
Well, baby steps. Like I said, feel a lot better if Alex Smith was the starter, but nope, they're going Dwayne Haskins.
And they have no cares at all about what's going on there, but they do. They're a little bit fearful of the fact that they just got penalties on pit road.
Ooh, Denny Hamlin, too fast on pit road. Austin Dillon, too fast on pit road.
Miscue on the first pit stop. Here in the second round of pit
Youch.
stops, the 11 and the 3.
It's okay, the stage is like 150 fucking laps.
And how much car they have to use trying to get back up through traffic. And listen,
That's a 6-speed penalty this year for Austin Dillon and the 3rd for Denny Hamlin.
Only 3 for Denny all year. That's pretty good.
Said the pit stops are harder. I've done a pit stop. I ain't tackling no one in the NFL. So
Logano, Harvick, Keselowski, Bowman, stage 2.
Logano.
Unfortunately, Logano gets out to a good, nice lead going to 1.
Keselowski, the 2 just behind him. Kevin Harvick in the 4 on that outside line.
trouble for 2 or an opportunity for others. Rick, let's see who can capitalize.
Well, Steve, look at the 18. The 18 is up here. A great pit stop. They gained 5 spots on pit road, and then you mentioned with the choose.
Keselowski through to second.
13 to 8. Throw a couple speed penalties out that makes him 6th. Choose a couple good spots, and here he is fighting to get inside the top 5.
Another driver working himself into the top 5 and trying to take 4th position. Mark Truex Jr.
Cole Custer's having a good race. He barely missed the top 10 at the end of stage 1.
Starting position back outside the top 10. Here he is.
Right on the back bumper of Kevin Harvick. He's going to move to the inside as they dive into 1.
You gonna run him over too, Truex? Wouldn't hurt me.
Kevin's car is exactly like it.
Austin Dillon and Denny Hamlin have the dominant cars, but they both sped on pit road. Now they're at the back, and we're early in stage 2. That's what you missed.
Kyle Busch made that work on the outside.
And yes, I said Austin Dillon's got the dominant car. He does. Him and Denny Hamlin. Although, I think Keselowski's low-key the fastest car, and it's showing now. He's going for the lead.
Attempt early on new tires.
Logano's doing that mirror driving bullshit he loves to do.
Corner Brad's right there to put pressure on.
Brad had mentioned how great he felt coming to this race.
But Logano, he's not even trying to run the bottom. He's giving Brad.
He was. He's just too tight to run the bottom and too loose coming off.
Only 3 laps into a run that you can run up there without the guy on the bottom just driving underneath you.
It's impressive the 22 car can turn and get back off the corner, getting that inside line up.
See Boyer able to get past the 18.
Excuse me.
Kyle's back to 9th now.
That's frustrating.
Okay, 155 laps is pretty long for a stage 2.
Did a good job on the launch on the restart, but then gave some of those spots up once they got going, and that's been the problem with this 18
Bowman's
car.
3rd, and William Byron was in the top 10, but he's not there now.
Yeah, a lot of details
Bowman's having a
in the
really good
racing,
race.
But in the end, the foundation of it all are good driving race cars that can make good lap time. And to Jeff's point, that's what I think the 18 has been lacking.
And for now, unfortunately, Logano's holding off Keselowski, no problem.
Compared to these 2 Penske cars up front, 22 leading and the 2-car Brad Keselowski second, Marty.
And Steve, they've shown a willingness to try that line a little bit higher. You see Brad trying to take it, trying to get around his teammate Joey Logano, and both of them running up front, running very strong at a short track, and the 750 package, 750 horsepower package that NASCAR uses it here at Richmond. I was talking to Paul Wolf, the crew chief for Joey Logano earlier earlier today, and he said there's been a fundamental shift among everybody in the garage area, Steve, to focus on these 750 races. Why? Because Phoenix, the championship race, will be run with this package. Remember the old way the playoffs shaped out? You worry about mile-and-a-half tracks. Now, teams are really focused on this package. They know if you can run well with a short track package, you got a shot to win the title.
So very clear, there's two distinct packages that these guys will run when rules.
Yeah, there's a shitty one and a good one. Now, most weeks we're stuck with the shitty one. That's two different packages.
Here's the short tracks, 1 mile or less downforce. They call it the 750 because the engines make 750 horsepower.
William Byron's 14th now.
Will have this 750 horsepower.
Martin Truex, my pick, is up to third. Yeah, there's Austin Dillon and Denny slumming it with Ryan Preece and Bubba Wallace right now. So who do you think Ty Dillon's going to drive for next year? Nobody? My bet is nobody. He might get he's going to get the 43. If the 43 stays a Chevrolet, Ty Dillon will get it. You watch.
It takes patience to get to a field to do it. Obviously, a loss of track position. That's obvious.
Not that he's done anything to deserve it, but he'll get it.
Look how much more dangerous it is back here. Those two guys are
Grandpa will send Petty and whoever a check and get Ty Dillon in the 43.
You got to work through all this. This is where you get into a wreck.
Feel bad for the 43. Bubba's going to take a lot of sponsors with him. A lot of good sponsors.
And Steve, this stays quite a bit longer than the first one, so what kind of strategy comes into play here as far as come to pit road?
Well, without a doubt, it requires a pit stop. You cannot go this entire stage on fuel. The question is, do you stop once or twice? I think the easy decision is you stop somewhere in the middle, put a full tank of fuel.
Cars on the lead lap. A lot. Let's see. About 30.
Fresher tires on your car. It'll be faster on the racetrack. The disadvantage is 2 trips down pit road leaves you very vulnerable.
28 on the lead lap.
If you track the lap down, we'll see if anybody.
Yeah, 30 cars on the lead lap. First car lap down is Jimmy Johnson. And 31st. He's got some right rear damage. I think that's just hurt the aero of that car.
Getting through these guys that Austin Dillon had. Denny now jumping on the outside of Bubba Wallace. But he's not just rolling up through there like I thought he would. Maybe he's being easy on tires, or maybe his car's not as good. But look where the 3 car is. Look how much further up he's gotten than what Denny Hamlin has gotten. Dave.
Austin Dillon might have the best long-run car in the field.
Truex Jr. ran second or third or one-time fourth 8 races in a row, and would have made it 9 in a row last week, battling for the lead late in the race. What a strong year for these guys, and this veteran, the 40-year-old from Vienna, New Jersey, certainly has things going his way in the speed department, trying to finish it off here tonight. One of the fastest cars on the track in 3rd place, Parker.
And right behind him is Alex Bowman, Dave, who, if you remember correctly, in the summer months, we kind of lost this 88. It's like they almost limped into the playoffs a little bit, but then they went to Darlington, had a lot of speed, finished 6th. This track, though, this is the one they had circled as the toughest for them, because Greg Eyes told me this is not a great track for us. We have not had many good runs here. We don't need to win tonight, we just need a solid night, and they've been putting that together. He finished 6th in the first 8, getting 5 points right now. Running inside the top 5, Marty.
Parker, the only driver who's already advanced to round 2 is Kevin Harvick after the win in the Southern 500 last week, sitting in 5th, trying to get 4th from Alex Bowman. So we asked Kevin earlier this week, you're already in round 2. Would you take it easy this weekend? He said, man, no way. We playoff race every week with the 14. We're not letting
Chase Elliott 6th.
You can't turn that kind of mentality on and off. Kevin Harvick focused, trying to continue to get playoff points as he gets 4th there from Alex Bowman.
And Alex Bowman, a good run here.
Trying to keep as many playoff guys outside the top 10 in this race as we can.
Up front, separated by about 0.3 of a second.
Austin Dillon's so fast, he's definitely going to be in the top 10 by the end of the stage.
And
Shit, it's only 127 laps to go in this motherfucker.
He thought he would be at Richmond. He can't get by his teammate, Joey Logano. Or is he saving his tires?
I think just keeping him in view here. Catch a long run coming, so might as well just sit right there behind the leader. No need to push harder than that. Looking back at the pack, though, some great lap times from Stenhouse, Dillon as well. Top 5 lap times coming to the field.
Early in stage 2, it's Logano, Keselowski. 2-time winner a year ago, Truex Jr. in 3rd.
Truex can make it up to me for last week.
Yes, soldier.
I'm sure he won't. Excuse me. See if I can find out anything on Twitter. Oh my God. Chase Elliott upside down in the catch. I'm kidding. Come on, it's Richmond. You didn't believe that. Radman says he hasn't watched a race in months, and he's wondering why Austin Dillon was doing so well earlier. Yeah, I'm wondering that myself. By the way, Austin Dillon was only 0.1 miles per hour over the limit on pit road. And I think tonight marks the first time I've heard on a live sports broadcast that the Washington football team has been used in a sentence. Unfortunately, Logano is still leading. Brad is there, however. Quote Kyle Busch on his radio, "I'm fucking trying." He's not having a good time.
Now up into lap traffic.
William Byron says he feels like he's really fucked, man, and he doesn't know what to do. I wish I had scanner audio to play during the streams.
And then turned and left on the bottom of the racetrack.
Maybe if people donated, I'd have scanner audio.
Same things. That's scary. The lap traffic can create.
I would love to have scanner audio during this.
You know what? I don't want to drive in on the bottom of those guys and kill the whole corner. I'm going to go into the corner on the top.
If these guys weren't so busy trying to drive these cars, they'd say as much mean-spirited shit as I do. They could probably cuss more than me if you can believe that.
Really, really smart about how they tackle the lap traffic.
Truex is closing in on Brad and Joey. When they went to commercial, he was about 1.8 seconds back. Now he's 1.2 back through this lap traffic. And Logano's not able to hold the bottom in the center of the corner.
Look how low he is. Look how low Joey Logano is. He's not even out by the wall. He's trying to find grip. He's trying to
Chase Elliott's in the top 5 now.
Keselowski, turn 4 goes all the way to the wall. Joey Logano is
Matt Kenseth top 10.
Just trying to look for rear grip.
We're getting a great view of these Mustangs fighting for the lead here. You can score the ultimate prize built for the ultimate fan. Enter now for a chance to win a customized Ford Mustang.
That's an enthusiastic ad read, Rick Allen.
Bonus entries when you use the code SHORTTRACK. Get started at NASCAR.com/.
Now Brad's looking to the outside of Logano.
And these two Fords fighting it out right now.
Decent run off the corner, but not enough to do anything going to 3. Now he's really putting the pressure on him. He followed Logano's line directly into 3 to try to get him loose.
He's to the inside. We dive a little bit deeper into 1.
This is Richmond at its best when you can use multiple grooves to get around this racetrack.
Remember last year when if your car wasn't good enough to run multiple grooves, you couldn't pass anybody because that big-ass spoiler on the back of the car?
Your Brad sees an opportunity to try to
Not fun.
Maybe get on the outside of the 22 car. He's going to turn, cut across the bottom.
He better hurry and get this lead because Truex is coming. He's within a second now. Now Brad's going to drive it in. Maybe he'll wreck Logano like he did Blaney at Michigan. Remember that? Of course you don't. That race sucked, but I remember.
The farthest he's been up, he got all the way to the door of Logano. Can he steal?
Oh, he hit Logano.
Up the racetrack.
I don't think they actually hit Rick, but it was
Did they? I think they did.
Brad
Did the air really affect Logano that much?
Or actually did lose the back of his race car, but I don't know if those two made
Well, Brad
contact
takes the
at all.
lead anyway.
Very close.
And Truex is now within a half a second of these guys.
Leading at Richmond.
My pick, Martin Truex. Show me the money, Martin Truex Jr.
Quickly, Martin Truex Jr. caught up. This line fascinates me. Look at how low he is on the straight.
Do you think there's any, this is going to sound crazy, but just fresher pavement down there? Less traffic on?
It could be there. I don't know if they touched tonight. I'm like you, Jude. I don't think they did. Let's get the look right here.
Yeah, I think Joey was just reacting to seeing Brad come up the track. He thought Brad was going to wrap the line and keep the left front on the yellow line there. And he's like, oh, man, maybe the two's about to drive in my door.
I bring up that fresher pavement. I agree with you guys. I don't think it was contact.
All is right with the world. Joe Logano's not leading.
So I don't get wrecked.
We should have run into him at Darlington.
Oh, boy.
Oh, you hear that? Joey says he should have run into Brad at Darlington. Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Out there with a mixer. I mean, you can't even stir it quick enough by hand.
Joe Logano, no stranger to running into people.
And what I say about that pavement is, you know, a lot of guys talk about track temperature. Are they seeing something and telling Logano, is this a strategy to run lower? I've just never seen anyone do it.
Hates it when other people do it to him,
I
though.
I've always believed that a super low exit off of turn 4 has more grip. But I've never seen someone continue to run that low all the way down the straightaway. Just never seen it before. Joe Logano.
Now that they're not dicking with each other and there's not a lot of traffic in front of them, Truex has kind of dropped back a couple of tenths.
Keselowski, Logano, Martin Truex Jr. running third, Harvick is fourth. Chase Elliott has moved up to fifth. Alex Bowman back to sixth. Kyle Busch holding on to seventh. Cole Custer is eighth. Eric Almirola ninth. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. right there in the top 10 once again. Dave.
Back to that ninth place driver right there, Eric Almirola. Remember before the Mustang was a Mustang in the Cup Series, it was a Ford Fusion. And back in those days, crew chief Mike Ravage told me the company really had it dialed in here at Richmond. It was very close to the aerodynamic and motor package they're running tonight. He said, I looked at that data, I adapted it, I felt very good about tonight. Eric right now says the car is just a little bit loose across the middle has been his main issue.
Right, an impressive run from the guy right behind him. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Rick alluded to it in the top 10, finished 9th in stage 1, but all the way back to 18th for the slow pit stop, and is driven all the way back in the top 10. And to add on, this team is doing something pretty exciting. Brian Patty joined Ricky Stenhouse Jr. over at JTG this year, and he said last week they brought an entirely experimental car. If he ran in the top 20, they knew it was a success. He did. He finished 19th. He ran as high as 13th. This week, it's half an experimental car. Same test. If they can run in the top 20, it's a win, and they're doing way better than that, Marty.
Parker kept one spot back, and you will
Austin
find
Dillon only one spot out of the top 10. Best car on the long run. If he doesn't get any more penalties, he's going to be a factor in this.
29th. He has plus 18 since the restart. So impressive. And they've talked about how they have.
He's 8 spots ahead of Denny Hamlin, who started back in the back with him at the start of stage 2.
And 18th, they restarted side by side. Austin Dillon about to crack the top 10. He has been so impressive. I don't know what you guys think.
Who put something in the water at RCR to suddenly make him relevant?
He's impressive. You three.
Yeah, I think
He's impressing the shit out of me for once.
Jr. also.
This is the first time I've ever been impressed with Austin Dillon in a Cup car, legitimately. How long has he been running? 6 years?
That is out front, and already we have seen plenty of action.
Austin Dillon has never done anything in a Cup car to impress me till today. Come on, little Twitter. Load, please, T-Mobile. Yay. My data's actually working today. That was the first time it was even remotely slow. Boy, do I miss Verizon. Man, it's as if low downforce leads to better racing. I don't know. Did you ever think of that one? Ooh, somebody just posted a picture of a Jimmy Johnson Power of Pride paint scheme. I always love those. Boy, what does it say when a 7-time champion's like, you know what, I don't want to be in NASCAR no more. I'm going to go run some IndyCar races next year. Jimmy, don't leave. Please.
You can go inside the headsets with access to NASCAR Scanner. Only $4.99 during the playoffs. Go to NASCAR.com/scanners. Listen in.
That'll make your heart sink when you're poor. Oh God, my phone. That's like a year's pay. Oh, William Byron not having a good day now.
Day for the 24. It was kind of okay early. This is definitely not as good.
Chad Knaus had the crew take a big swing the last time down pit road. 4 turns of wedge in the rear, a track bar adjustment, air pressure adjustments, and it doesn't seem to have helped him at all. He struggles in 21st.
And he's going around the outside of the 21 car. Who's also struggling. Matt Benedetto needed to have a good run.
Yes, the 21 clearly deserved to make the playoffs just because Jimmy Johnson missed a race with coronavirus. They're really making the most of this opportunity that was basically gifted to them. I hate to be cynical, but it's the truth.
One team and organization that really has not enjoyed it has been Roush Fenway Racing. Speaking to Scott Graves, the crew chief on the 6, he said, you know, we use practice really to...
Jack Roush is like the Vince McMahon of NASCAR. His company will probably be better off when he's dead. Because he's clearly not doing anything right. Benedetto on pit road. Well, that's short pitting if I ever seen it. Harvick's pitting.
Is you think fresher tires will help your car more? Matt Benedetto only ran about 50 laps on that set of tires. Now we see the 4th Kevin Harvick on pit road also, Marty.
When you have this many wins in the bank, Steve,
Top 3 drivers in Cup wins not win championships. Denny Hamlin, Mark Martin, Harry Gant.
wow, you can even go down 2 laps. But in theory, these fresh rear tires and how valuable they are at Richmond, you should be
Denny Hamlin, Mark Martin, Harry Gant. I don't know if that's the correct order.
after all, they're already into round 2. Why not? Let's see if this works. They're going to go with the 2-stop strategy.
Well, Dale Jr.'s got to be close on that list.
So much grip right here for the 4 car. So what Marty was saying, Rick, is basically when you pit here, you go at least 1.5 laps down, all the way to 2.5 laps down, depending on where you are for the leader. So we'll see as Brad, as the 4th Kevin Harvick cycles back around here at the start-finish line. Trying to get our scoring cleaned up. It looks like I think he'll only be 1 lap down, almost 2. But watch how fast he is as we ride on board. Drivers, this is going to make you feel good. You know you're behind, but man, you feel good compared to everyone else. It's a lot of fun.
Man, I was always good at answering questions watching NASCAR Smarts. Should have been on that show.
Because, you know, the trend has been...
Remember NASCAR Smarts? Remember Speed Channel?
You know, we've seen that Xfinity race. Not a lot of yellows in the 2 races they had this weekend. Dave. 48 on pit road now. Damage repaired from...
Junior Johnson. Yeah, he won like 50 races. See, that threw me because he only won championships as an owner. So, yeah.
A little bit free at the end of that road. 4 tires in field.
You always think of Junior Johnson as a champion, but it was owner's champion.
This week, will not be back with Richmond Motorsports next year. Everybody eager to find
Bubba
out
Wallace
where
made the right
Bubba's
choice
going.
not picking the 43 next year.
Take this ride. This is an opportunity for a driver.
Yeah, the
This
question.
team's sort of on the uptick, would you say, Rick?
Yeah, also Eric Jones, where is he going to end up?
Oh, no, poor Eric Jones is going to wind up in that 43. Eric Jones is the next Reed Sorensen.
Back to the strategy that we're seeing these teams play. Remember,
You got to get some sleep. I got to watch a race and then convince myself to work out
you got a pit road.
before I can sleep. Not only work out, then take a shower. So, not looking forward to it, but I'll do it.
Split that one up also. So going back to the well again, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, I think Marty put it perfectly. This is what freedom of a race win does. Watch how much faster this car is going to be. Easily turns over the 18, and I don't know.
Harvick trying the two-stop strategy in stage 2 here.
You can never know how it's going to adjust how you call the race, but I love the aggression. Why not? I mean, they're just looking for some more playoff points.
And Steve, are we looking at about maybe 18 to 20 laps until the one-stop guys will be coming to pit road? Will they come with about 70 to go, maybe a little less?
Yeah, that math's pretty good, Rick. I think you're going to run about 75 laps on a set of tires. I currently have 58, so, 15 laps, 15 to 17 laps, and we expect to see them on pit road.
These other guys pit. Harvick will have the lead by a mile.
Oh, he'll have to lead by the mile, but then he'll be on old
That's
tires.
right. They'll have new tires. They'll be coming in.
Looking at Kyle Busch, he's running 6th right now.
On the outside of Alex Bowman, who's done really well tonight to hang into this top 10. This number 88 car. He's going to lose a spot to Kyle there, but another driver behind him. Here comes Marola, running in 7th. Eric's car was not good when this race started. Sitting back around 14th to 17th position, and they worked themselves into the top 10. He does like this racetrack. Results over the last several races wouldn't show it, but even back when he drove for Richard Petty Motorsports, had some really fast cars here.
There's Ricky Stenhouse Jr. behind him. You see Austin
Richard Petty Motorsports and fast cars. I haven't heard that sentence since 1979.
You wonder if Austin ran.
Those words can't possibly be in the same sentence in that order.
Maybe not get through that traffic quite as fast, but as he saved a little bit of tire to go a little bit further here.
Hamlin's still back in 16.
And the other thing too is I think that Austin's behind one of the better cars in the field, one of the top 5 cars at 47. Ricky Stenhouse, Austin to pit road.
Austin Dillon to pit road.
All right, Steve, what do you think about this strategy? Really kind of in the middle.
Yeah, kind of in the
Right
middle.
about halfway
I think
through the
perhaps
stage,
they
just
were gonna
about.
lose too much time, so they do have the option to not stop again. We'll see how this pit stop plays out and how the cycle plays out, Marty.
You see, that's exactly
Don't speed, you
why
idiot.
they got behind them
You got a great car.
Junior's point. They couldn't get around him, and the tires are kind of gone for Dillon. Austin Dillon, he pushed him really hard early in the run. That got him too tight later in the run. So losing time behind the 47.
Almirola on pit road.
Let's come down pit road now. So a little bit earlier than those guys who are going to do the one-stop day with 83 to go in stage 2.
Eric Almirola brings the 10 Mustang out of pit road. Balance still isn't quite there for Eric, but they'll change 4 Goodyear tires.
Cole Custer on pit road.
Send it back, Parker.
And his nice teammate there, Cole Custer, is going to join him on pit road. Was falling back a little bit there. You see that wrenching right there, trying to add a little grip inside that 41 car. Just struggling with loose in and loose off for the rookie Cole Custer.
So still up front is Brad Keselowski into 2, but now we're seeing multiple strategies come into play here.
Yeah, I mean, basically the 4 kind of was aggressive. They hit it the earliest. And I think everybody saw just how fast he was on new tires, how much time he was making up. And there was
Matt Kenseth, Clint Boyer to pit road.
I'm a little
They were in the top 10.
A little concerned, a little confused by these guys because they didn't quite run long enough in the first.
Ooh, James Davison to pit road.
They do have that option. You know, Rick, what I always say, 10 more the cautions are going to fall.
That'll be a racing reference trivia question. Name the races James Davison was in.
4 tires for Clint Boyer
In
here.
Cup.
He said the back is really disconnected. I hit the gas.
With
and it
literally
goes
no
sideways,
experience
so
otherwise
maybe
in
just
NASCAR.
for him. He'll leave pit road.
Byron going a lap down right here.
Yeah, William Byron's a lap down.
Makes you wonder if that would
Maybe he should have pitted.
Byron on the pit road.
As soon as I'm not in the free pass position, I would pit. I wouldn't pit from anywhere I'm getting my lap back, Jeff, but as soon as I'm not the free pass car, which passing this 13 of Ty Dillon will do it, that would pull me to pit road if I'm Chad Canales and Parker.
Ryan Blaney on pit road here as well. Going to big four tires, stuck with a tight condition, trying to come back from having a tight.
Ooh boy, it's a long run. Long, painful run.
It's just hard to believe, Rick. You know, we used to see the short pitting and stuff in a big track. Now we're starting to see it on short tracks, Dave.
See Eric Jones on pit road with the 20 car. Whoa, that tire almost gets away.
Ooh, a nice Irwin Tools paint scheme for Eric Jones. That's nice. Kurt Busch flashbacks. Always like those cars.
Struggling a little bit with the right rear in that car, getting the grip off the corners. You see the 13 of Ty Dillon coming to the shot a little bit. Also, that's Kurt Busch.
Don't mind Ty Dillon. He was just overshooting his box.
At one point saying it was non-existent in that one car. Also, as you see behind him, his brother, Kyle Busch, coming down pit road. Things have been improving. We talked earlier about how he didn't feel like he was being rewarded for being able to take care of the tires early on the run. Well, that has changed. He's been far more positive on the radio inside that 18.
Kyle Busch is positive on the radio. You heard it.
Right now, Marty.
But it's still 2020.
Positive run here at Richmond in quite a while, staying in the top 10 this entire race at a racetrack where they were very worried about how the car would handle. Chasing his drive off of the corner, much better. Very happy with it, Dave.
Eddie Hamlin trying to overcome that pit road speeding penalty. Was asked a couple of laps ago how the turn was in his car.
Aren't you glad they let them take the fucking right side windows out of these cars so these guys can breathe in there?
Not sure if they got that done or not.
All these pit stops happen, but 2 and the 22 stay on the racetrack. I imagine they're getting close to their pit stops. On board
Comes Truex to pit road.
Right, Steve, he wanted to pit about 10 laps ago. He was crying on the radio, man, this thing is falling off a cliff. But that was some of the guys with pressure.
Don't let that tire get away. Don't let that tire get away.
His game's small credit. He's stuck with his strategy. The 22 Logano on pit road, Marty.
Yes, and his teammate Brad Keselowski coming next lap. Logano.
I don't think that's a penalty. He was getting damn near close, though. Did Johnny Benson win a cup race? Yes, he did. Rockingham? It was either 01 or 02. Johnny Benson won Rockingham. Driving that number 10 Valvoline car. Pontiac.
And with all this two-stop, one-stop strategy, you see where it all cycles out is Keselowski, the leader, coming to pit road, the last of those one-stoppers to come down.
And Steve, we're talking about...
So now, Harvick, Austin Dillon, Almirola are 1, 2, 3. And the pit sequence is all jumbled to shit.
20 laps is about a second and a half. I mean, you see how
Ricky Stenhouse too fast on pit road.
The 88 of Bowman easily unlaps himself, but one of Kurt Busch easily unlaps himself.
How could I forget Johnny Benson winning? I would never forget that. That's a race you don't forget.
With a miscue, you see right here down the backstretch, he's going to be looking for pit road. Tries to get slowed down.
Oh, fucking Truex missed pit road the first time. Well, God damn it. There he is, trying to keep me from getting my money for the second week in a row. Excuse me. William Byron on pit road. Yeah, they missed the setup.
47 Ricky Stenhouse Jr. speeding when he entered pit road.
Ricky Stenhouse with the dumbest paint scheme of all time. They've been running it all year. It's a car with tinfoil being peeled off of it.
Having a good run. Listen, I'm not a strategist, but Steve, help you understand William Byron. A car really struggling. Almost really the last guy to hit pit road with a really slow car. I don't understand that.
I don't either. It's a little bit of a Hail Mary. You need the absolute perfectly timed yellow to save a lap, but you gave up a bunch of time. Current William Byron 2 laps down. Now, he does have the freshest tires, so he's going to have to try to use those tires to get one of those laps back, but definitely a loss of time for William Byron with 24. About a half a straightaway behind the 4 of Harvick. Going to have to make that up, Rick, as quick as possible.
The top 5 are Harvick, Austin Dillon, Almirola, Custer, and Kyle Busch. You're watching NASCAR Cup Series playoffs telecast with Light Toyota.
After a certain point, if Harvick and these guys get a caution, it's a brilliant decision what they did. This is a really long stage. Oh, man. Feels like the Coke 600. Yeah, a little bit. This is the Coke 600 of stages. It's pretty fucking long. Considering the first stage was only 80 laps. This one's, I don't know, 155. Pretty long fucking stage. Oh, we're back.
Harvick, as he just went by there. Harvick still leading the Federated Auto Parts 400. Let's take a look at tonight's Xfinity fastest lap, and Harvick has turned that fastest lap. It was really early in the race. His second lap, Denny Hamlin on lap 39 turned very quick lap. Brian Keselowski on lap 92, the fifth fastest lap of the race.
I think we'll see that eclipse late in this race. Get a late caution, some tires. Track cools off a little bit. It's a little faster battle right here. Fourth place. Brian Keselowski going around Kyle Busch. Here comes Joey Logano. Trying to take the fight to that 18 car as well.
And these guys right now are 11 seconds behind Kevin Harvick, but on fresher tires. So how long does it take for them to catch up to Kevin?
About 11 laps, looking at the lap time. I mean,
60 to go in stage 2. Jesus Christ.
Is, you know, so
Race will be half over, though. Long after we get to the end of the stage. Oh, James Davison in the wall. Oh, boy, I don't know. Don't put it out. I'm a Chase Elliott guy. He's on the one-stop strategy in this stage.
You see the concrete, or at least the white paint in that right front tire. It's not concrete with the safety barriers, but the white paint.
James Davison from Melbourne.
Bounced off the wall.
Back a few years there, Steve.
I'm old. I was into the concrete. I know.
It looks like
It doesn't. It looks like he hit the concrete wall.
see how he got the fits. Just entering in the marbles. And there's
How you gonna be that slow and hit the wall?
Agree. Getting offline like that. Just trying to give those guys some room to get around. He made that mistake.
James Davison, so far this year, has only run 8 races. So this will just be his 9th race here at Richmond.
That's special to hit the wall, running that slow.
Normally I love to kind of lay out the pit strategy for the fans at home, but I can tell you, at some point we'll draw down the last pit, and your eyes are going to go a little bit cross. We have lap 140, 151, 162, 158. There are so many different strategies that it would be impossible to cover them all. What you really need to know is Denny Hamlin's back on the lead lap at 18th. Matty D, one of the first cars at pit road, currently running 19th. The only playoff car a lap down, William Byron. Harvick, as you mentioned, his lead is down to 1 second. So it's just a tremendous variety.
Austin Dillon is catching Kevin Harvick for the lead.
56 to go. We're going to re-rack this one more time and do it all again. I think we're going to see the majority of those early cars pit a second time.
And Harvick in the lead on the all tires.
Yep, Austin Dillon's going to have the lead here shortly.
You can take the lead any moment. Let's go out on board with the 4 car.
Man, what a car.
Somebody's fight going around just really got to be patient here. There's no grip in the front or the rear tires. Line over probably right there. Down into turn 3. A little bit of playing with the throttle. You hear him just barely touching the throttle. Probably full crawl right there, right before the flag stand. Here's a battle to the lead. Austin Dillon, not going to be much of a battle here as Austin with them newer tires is able to drive right by. The 3-car back to the lead. What a
and Austin Dillon takes the lead. You know, it wasn't even registering to me that Austin Dillon was taking the lead. My mind was like, oh, Harvick's lapping Austin Dillon. No, Austin Dillon just took the lead again.
Just keep riding along with Kevin Harvick, because I think Kevin Harvick is one of the smoothest drivers in the series. And what he's able to do is watch his
He just passed Kevin Harvick for the lead in 2020.
He will put it in the same place every lap and do whatever he has to do to carry the right amount of speed to put that left front tire right against the yellow line. And he'll do it lap after lap after lap. That's where he's so good. Think about him in Atlanta. See that? See the car move around? That's a lack of grip. That's all that is he tries to accelerate. But the reason he's so good at Atlanta and places like that is because of this rhythm that he gets in and the discipline that he has. To not overdrive to get you, to not go to the throttle too quick, to maximize the grip in your tires but not cross over it. That's why Kevin Harvick is so good.
basically drive off the corner like you got an egg between your foot and the throttle. Try not to break that egg.
Time.
They're going to bring him to pit road.
Harvick's pitting this time.
Trying to figure out how to let these guys know that, hey, I'm going to be slowing down here. Don't run me over.
See the 21 right in front of him coming to pit road.
Oh, he's going to miss the box. He does.
He missed it.
I think he crossed the
Ooh,
box.
I think that's going to be a penalty on Harvick. The right front tire hit the commitment box.
All four tires inside the orange box when you enter pit road.
Youch.
So hard this race.
Well, doesn't really hurt him any. He won last week. Yeah, he definitely hit the box.
It certainly looks like from that shot that he got the right sides on it.
How unfortunate.
And they haven't told Kevin Harvick yet that he didn't hit the pit box commitment line, but he did hit it obviously right there. Harvick said at the end of that run, man, it's horrible at the end of this run. 4 freshman year tires will make it feel a lot better. The 2 stoppers coming with 49 to go in stage 2, Parker.
Right, Matt Benedetto's right ahead of him, also doing 4 tire assessment on lap 138.
Matt Benedetto.
Strategy. She didn't take it down.
Yep, they called Harvick for the commitment line violation officially. Be a pass through, I would assume.
You need to run as long as you can here, but they give you 3 laps, right, Steve, before you have to serve that penalty.
Yeah, you do. You have 3 laps. There's a good look. Junior, if you're looking for it, I think it's pretty clear. Oh, yeah. Very clear. The right front tire for sure goes over that orange box.
That's a couple things, guys. Old tires, trying to maximize your speed getting on pit road, and just not having as much grip as you need to get it slowed down the way Kevin needed to get it slowed down. Marty.
And you heard Kevin ask the question there. They're going to get the black flag on the next lap. Tim Fedor is telling him now. Kevin said, did that happen on entry or exit? They didn't know that he did it. You see him waving, everybody say, hey, coming to
Well, whatever you do, don't do it again.
But Steve, that's one of the problems when you
Okay, he made it that time.
Race,
Here's his pass through.
in stage 3 as well. Anytime you add another stop, you could get a penalty on entry. You could speed on pit road. It just adds another potential problem. Obviously, Harvick's not worried about it. They're in around.
Oh, if only there were actually consequences for this.
It opens you up to many
Where's
things
Bubba?
that could happen during the race.
It does, Marty. You're
Let's
absolutely
see.
right. But
Where's
the
Bubba?
idea is
Scroll
you can't
down and
call
find
a race
out.
in fear. You have to call a race assuming you can execute. Just
18th.
like Kevin Harvick. We've seen other drivers
Last
make it.
car on the lead lap for now.
We know they're already on to the round of 12 because of the win last week. You know, NASCAR not.
Austin Dillon leading. Legitimately. So we get this straight. Truex missed pit road on the last pit stop cycle. Had to come back around and get on it again, and he's still ahead of Chase Elliott. It's okay. I need Truex to win so I can get some money. Well, Hamlin making mistakes in the playoffs is nothing new. Harvick gets to make a mistake without consequence here. Truex looks like he's doing just fine after his little screw up. Eric Jones. Is he getting lapped now? Yeah, he's getting lapped. I didn't know if he had just come off pit road or something, but no, he ain't pitted and he's getting lapped. Jesus Christ, 42 to go in stage 2. We are still in stage 2, people. I know that stage 3 is a little bit longer, but geez, for stage 2, this is a lot. Of course, Dylan's the betting favorite right now. I bet he wasn't before the damn race. I bet he wasn't even close. They showed the odds before the start of the race. I should have been paying more attention. I should work out right now and get it over with, but I'm streaming. I would love to work out during the race. That'd be the best time to do it, but I can't because I'm streaming. Or maybe I can. Keep my mic mostly turned off, but when I have something to say, switch it on so you don't hear me going 35 minutes in. Oh no, we'll see. That'd be a good time to do it. Get it over with.
Season premiere of Sunday Night Football.
Woohoo!
Rams host Dak Prescott. Cowboys.
Don't know why it's got to be the Cowboys.
Football night in America. It's 7 p.m. Eastern on NBC. And download the NBC Predictor app for a chance to win a $100,000.
Well, that NFL season sneaks up on you without any preseason.
7. Aerial coverage. Looking down on this beautiful 3-quarter-mile track. Brought to you by Geico. Out front, it's Austin Dillon, Brad Keselowski running in the second spot. Logano, Truex Jr. there on the screen in 4th. Kyle Busch running 5th right now. We mentioned Truex Jr. in that 4th spot a year ago. Swept the races at this racetrack, Dave, and right now they haven't been able to get up front and really lead laps.
Not yet. Got a good car there.
It was interesting. Sometimes when the driver
Talking about
Truex
Truex.
to go in a stage, it's because they're struggling. But I think Martin Truex Jr.
We are at the halfway mark.
After he heard that there were 52 laps remaining after he asked,
Race is on pace to end at 3 hours on the dot, pretty much.
His car to get to the end of this stage and maybe grab some more valuable stage points. Parker?
Well, Dave, his teammate there, Kyle Busch, as I told you, has gotten more positive as this race has gone on about the handling of that 18 car. But one of the most remarkable things
Matt Benedetto is 28th, 2 laps down. I'd say he's pretty much sealed his fate here tonight. And he and poor Ryan Blaney. PRB, poor Ryan Blaney.
I guess I just knocked Kyle Busch.
Well, we heard about 2 teammates there, Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Busch. Take a look at the Toyota driver update for 4 of them. Christopher Bell running in the 13th spot. Denny Hamlin in 14th. And again, in yellow, our playoff drivers.
Lead up there in front. Austin Dillon. Oh, steady. With Brad Keselowski. Brad's got 10 lap better tires, but hasn't really been able to close in.
Keselowski on 10 lap better tires is having trouble catching Austin Dillon. That's how good Dillon is tonight. Benedetto is 34 points out. Blaney's 23 out. Jeez.
I'm not sure if it was Justin Alexander's win on a computer program back in Baltimore or the combination of the two, but whatever told the 3 to pit on the lap that they did, it was a great idea because you got him out of traffic. The car's driving wonderfully. And as you mentioned, Dale, even with all the tires holding off Brad Keselowski. I mean, remember, he started tail end of the field at that speeding penalty at the start of the stage. That's just a great run for the 3 car, Marty.
I think the command center back in Welcome, North Carolina certainly helped with that one, because remember they caught Ricky Stenhouse Jr. They were losing so much time. They brought him in, yes, 10 laps before Brad Keselowski, but the interesting thing is that the lap times have really evened out here. Austin Dillon kind of hanging with Brad
30 to go in stage 2.
Able to make ground here. And he told me earlier this week, I feel like our go time is now. The race that really made me feel good was Dover. I used to never be good at Dover. He said we nearly got 2 top 10s out of that, and I knew at that moment, listen, we can go make a run in these playoffs. Second last week at Darlington, and so impressive tonight for Austin Dillon. Now clicking off his 43rd lap led here at Richmond tonight.
Well, we're past the halfway point of the race, and Austin Dillon ain't fell off yet. I'm starting to believe.
And Brad Keselowski, they're running 1 and 2. Austin Dillon came on lap 151. Brad Keselowski came on lap 162.
Ew.
11 laps different for the tires, but it seems like they've equaled out after they've run this far, Steve.
They have equaled out, which tells me that I think Austin Dillon's car is just better, because I'm not sure that's completely possible. The tires keep losing grip. Every once in a while, Keselowski runs a little bit better lap. So there's still 28 laps going to stage. I think at one point the age may catch up with Dillon, but it was still a track position game, even if he doesn't hold the lead.
How many pros out there that have been predicting what these playoffs are going to look like are scratching their heads right now going, wait a second, no one has picked Austin Dillon to do this well in the first 2 races. He finished top 5 last week at Darlington and now is leading at Richmond.
I know that, a lot of teams don't show their hand in the playoffs during the regular season. They leave a little bit on the shelf, especially a team that wins a race and they know they're locked into the playoffs. They'll bring some of their more clever pieces and parts to the racetrack for NASCAR to write new rules about and take them away. And you also talk about updates, upgrades. Chase Elliott.
How come we never did that at Hendrick in the playoffs?
We get a lot of upgrades right around this time. Which team has the right upgrades to improve their programs right at the playoffs?
Whatever the upgrades are, they're working. Austin Dillon.
Brad is starting to reel him in a little bit for the lead, but like they said,
In his career,
if he finishes top 5, it's a net gain after the speeding penalty earlier. So it's a big gain, actually.
Well, guys, if we look further back, at the end of the top 10 there, it's Cole Custer who's actually just fallen back to 12th, but just a lap or 2 ago was in the 10th position. Remember, at the end of stage 1, he came within a nose of getting a point there, which is huge for this rookie, who I feel like has just really surprised me for these first 2 races of the playoffs, going out there having a solid run at Darlington, and then continuing that here today with top 10 pace, although they're struggling in the rear right now, Dave.
His teammate Clint Boyer now is just above as they run the cut line on the playoffs. Car not handling really to Clint's liking. He was told that the leader, Austin Dillon, wouldn't elect him and lap him with 24 to go in this stage, but I'm not so sure. Dillon was within about 7
There's only
seconds.
15 cars on the lead lap with 23 to go in stage 2. Boyer's in trouble.
A little bit of a danger zone right now for Clint.
He's 11th. And now Brad's pulling up on Austin Dillon.
There's 3 of Austin Dillon, Brad moving around, moving up the racetrack to turn down and get that run off, getting the gas sooner and harder. Both of these guys using that lower line on the front straightaway. There must be something to that for tire savings, for grip.
Here he goes.
Another lead change. I don't think you saw this many lead changes across both Richmond races last year combined, as you're seeing here tonight.
21 laps to go in the second stage.
behind them is Logano, but he is a solid nearly 5 seconds back. These guys can really go at it, not worried about having to take pressure from somebody else.
Brad drove right up to the back of that 3 car, but the momentum on the high side from Dillon down the front straightaway. Look how low he comes off the corner, Jeff. You talked about it, that low exit. Now this 3 is using that high side to try to protect and keep this
Truex working on Logano for 3rd.
And he's taking Keselowski's line away from him.
And he's got it.
And you can see what happens every time Keselowski gains on him. As soon as he gets to him, he just can't.
Still in the hunt for the money.
Austin Dillon doing a really good job right here.
Brad got a good corner there through the center and off turn 2. Gains quite a bit on Austin. Down into turn 1, Brad going to try the bottom now. They got a little company with some tires behind them. The 34 car is going to work the outside. Michael McDowell is going to pause this battle for a moment.
Austin Dillon needs to be a little bit careful at 3 and 4. He likes to run that high lane and then turn and leave low, but that last time, he got down to the bottom really late, almost gave Brad a hold. Here it is. There's Brad taking that away from him. Now Austin can't leave on the bottom like he's
side by side for the lead.
And McDowell coming into play. Again, a lap down car, but Keselowski's going to follow him into the turn.
Does that hurt Keselowski with the 34 in front of him?
And Brad takes the lead. Austin Dillon second. Now Truex is 4.5 back from this battle. So
at Richmond, Austin Dillon, the 54 laps that he's led. That's the most laps he's ever led in a race. But now it's Keselowski.
which active Cup driver has the most starts without a win? Let me look here on this here leaderboard. Reed Sorensen. It's either Reed Sorensen or J.J. Yaley. I would say Reed Sorensen. That is my final answer, Regis. Do I win the million? I feel like Reed Sorensen's been around for quite a while. So it's either him or J.J. Yaley. Matter of fact, let's look at Racing Reference. See who's got more starts. Reed Sorensen. Reed Sorensen almost won California once. Remember that? 342 starts for Sorensen. Oh, you mean full-time driver. I'm going to look at Yaley anyway. Full-time driver without a win, huh? We're pretty close. Full-time driver A. Without a win. Michael McDowell. Michael McDowell. That's my final answer. So curiosity, let's see how many starts McDowell has, because I don't even know. It's a lot.
NASCAR Drive, that's your live race day companion. You can follow your favorite drivers.
It's got to be Michael McDowell. He's got 348 starts, no wins.
Drive, or you can download that mobile app tonight.
Hey, I was right.
We see Keselowski out front. Austin Dillon is running.
In a sense, I was right.
The car I think that everybody's focusing on right now is the 4 of Kevin Harvick. He's about to unlap himself. Steve, he's got 12 laps to go. Can he do it?
I think absolutely. He has the freshest tires. Remember, the only reason he got behind is because he hit.
11 to go in stage 2. My God, we're close.
Trip down pit road. So, A, I think he can unlap himself. But B, the question now moving into the final stage is, was a two-stop strategy going to work for Harvick without the penalty? That is a lot to decipher for the engineers to try to decide if they're going to alter their strategy the next time around.
What about my fantasy team?
I'm waiting.
If Harvick's back, I've got him in the garage. If he gets back, who do I take out of the garage and put in the garage?
I didn't put him in the garage for that reason. He's going to unlap himself. No problem. I have Kevin Harvick finishing this race well inside the top 10. But you need to, Kev, because you're in the fantasy team.
Just under 10 laps to go. Keselowski, Dillon, Truex Jr., Logano, Chase Elliott. They're the top 5, but it's Kyle Busch, Eric Almirola, Kurt Busch, Matt Kenseth is up there in the top 10. He's running in the 9th position, and Alex Bowman rounding out the top 10.
As I mentioned, so he's unlapped himself. So he's basically one lap behind.
Harvick's back on the lead lap after his penalty.
There's some calculators getting worked on very quickly here to try to figure out how to run that final stage.
8 to go in stage 2.
Dave, we see Austin Dillon recover from his speeding penalty, but the 11 of Hamlin not quite as fortunate. Still back.
Denny Hamlin not in the top 10.
He has worked so hard on his communication with Chris Gabehart, his crew chief, but I think he threw him a new one here. Listen. Trying to get that drive off the corner, gets next to the wall, and Dragster lights him up. I think Gabe Hart can relate to that, but that may be the first time he's ever heard that.
Well, I want to hear it, Dragster. Let's jump inside this 11 car ride on board. Drivers, tell us what he's fighting here.
Just listen to the throttle. You'll hear it. The hands. What you're trying to do as a race car driver is you want to get this thing pointed as quick as you can.
Yeah, Doom, it was McDowell.
Throttle and go as much throttle as you can. But Denny can't do it because he's spinning the rear tire. That's what he's talking about. The dragster lights him up. The drag car spinning the rear tires. It's the worst part of the racetrack. Right here. Just spin them big time. And the nose, and you can get more rear grip. There's a lot of speed right there.
It's literally just wide open for momentarily down the front straightaway.
At the end of this stage, I got to take a mid-race piss break.
This wasn't that lap. You just feel like you're just killing the rear tires. We get to full throttle on the straightaway here.
Well, look at this. Kevin Harvick is coming up on the back of the 11 of Denny Hamlin. And remember, Harvick was a lap down.
Great car. Isn't letting this
Austin Dillon has caught Brad Keselowski.
He's
Kinda. He's there.
on Brad. Brad could be just trying to take care of his car, but getting down on the inside of this lap car.
It will be a lap car. That's Cole Custer about to go a lap down.
He's got
Well, Custer's not going to give that lap up easy, but I don't know if he's got a choice. He just got lapped.
That right there, that white car in front of him, that's Clint Boyer. That's the next
Boyer,
car
with 3 to go, last car on the lead lap.
That Custer wants to see is the 2 car get up there and get by the 14, and it's happening quickly right here.
2 to go, and Brad's on Boyer's bumper.
This takes away the opportunity for Austin Dillon to get up in there and try to win this stage with a 41 car.
41 kind of cut Austin Dillon there. So
Car that stays 1 lap down, the first car lap down. Clint Boyer's got to do everything
lap him,
in
Brad.
his
Lap
power.
him.
Just so much
Yeah,
speed
Boyer will
in
get the
this
free
last
pass,
lap.
but lap
Clint's
him
gotta
anyway.
fight him. Clint's got to do everything he can. Pitch him off in the middle of the corner. Pitch him off of the corner exit. Smart move there to give him that inside. Use the drive on
Last
that
lap of
outside
the
down the
stage. Can't
straightaway.
believe it. It's been 84 years.
Just hit his marks at this point. He did a great job off turn 4.
Cole Custer back here is cheering for him, isn't he, Jeff?
Oh yeah,
Fight Boyer, help me out.
6 years ago, Brad Keselowski got his only win at Richmond Raceway, but it's long 6 years. Coming out of turn
Boyer
4,
stays on the lead lap. Brad wins
2.
stage 2. Austin Dillon second again. Truex third.
Dillon, Martin Truex Jr.
Hell of a points day for Austin Dillon.
Chase Elliott crossing the stripe in fifth. All getting stage points. Kyle Busch, Kurt Busch, Eric Almirola.
Matt Kenseth, top 10.
Harvick rounding out the top 10. Brad Keselowski.
And now I got to take a mid-race piss break. I'll be right back. figured out why it was hotter in my room than it usually is. Somebody in the house had the air set to a nice, crisp 79 fucking degrees. Because who cares if the rest of us burn up? Fix that shit. I'm up to down to 73. Take the fucking edge off of this house. It's a little warm in here. I really still wish I had my window air conditioner. I used that thing so much it just gave out.
Is brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. Perfect for race fans. FanDuel. More ways to win. And by Toyota. Getting ready for the final stage, but first, everyone will be making their way to pit road. We have already seen 3 pit road speeding penalties. The 11, the 3, and the 47 have all been tagged on pit road. And now they're coming back.
Here they
on
come.
The pit road. Dave, headed your way.
8 stage points for Martin Truex Jr. during that run. He was asked by crew chief James Small, have we hurt the middle yet with our adjustments? No was the answer. How much risk will he take here? He still needs drive off to be helped in this 19 car, Marty.
18 stage points for Austin Dillon tonight. Those are so valuable. And he even apologized to his guys on the radio. Said, sorry, I wanted that stage win really bad. He said he was a little too tight at the end of that run and was a little worried about the right front, but wants no changes. Same thing for Brad Keselowski. He said, you really have to manage the tires out here. I'm good everywhere. A little bit too tight at the end of the run, but I want no changes. Keselowski's team.
Keselowski, Truex, Logano, Austin Dillon 4th, Chase Elliott 5th off pit road.
We've seen that before, but he's been able to fight back on the race.
So my pick is now 2nd, just in time for stage 3. Does anybody have anything for Austin Dillon? On equal tires. Brad had like 11 lap fresher tires that last run, so we'll see what we got now. I did not get a penalty. Penalty's like if you're brave enough to piss with like the seat down and you get piss on the seat, that's a penalty. Pissed with the seat down, didn't get any piss on the seat, so we're doing good over here. No penalties. I think I'm good to go for the rest of the race now. U.S. Open.
Well, it won't be long now. We'll find out who wins at Richmond. We'll be with you for the NASCAR America post-race show from our NBC Sports studios with Kyle Petty and Brad Doherty. So one stage remains, and if you're looking at...
Well, for the sake of my money, I hope Truex wins, but Austin Dillon winning would just be funny.
He finished second last week, second in that last stage. Kyle, is tonight Austin Dillon's night?
You know, I don't know if tonight's his night, but I will say this. He is definitely backing up all the talk about him this week from a second place finish at Darlington. These are huge numbers that he's putting up. Never led on a short track. Tonight,
never led on a short track. It's only his 7th season, guys.
He's taking advantage of all the opportunities. I tell you, I'm surprised. I thought Boyer would be more in the conversation earlier. DiBenedetto, Byron, Blaney, those guys are out to lunch, man. They need big efforts.
Keselowski, Truex, Logano, Dillon. Stage 3.
There's the restart. Keselowski.
Great launch by Keselowski. Truex did not get going at all.
What a restart.
Logano's through to second, clear of Truex. That kind of hurt Austin Dillon bad there. Truex did not get going well at all. Elliott up to 4th. Austin Dillon's back to 5th now.
In the 4th spot, and Austin Dillon is 5th, but fighting for that position. The 18 of Kyle Busch looking to the inside.
$155 laps to go.
On pit road right there. Gotta be careful not trying to get them all the way back in loss right there. He got loose.
Austin Dillon, they should just settle in. I know he's pissed. He dropped to 5th, and now Kyle Busch is passing him. Just chillax. It's too early in this run. There's no guarantee you're going to get a caution, because this race has been green so far, except for the bullshit stage yellows.
He's using his really odd line of diving in the corner, really forcing the car down in the corner deep and then up the racetrack.
Don't do that on Kyle Busch at turn 3 at Richmond. Just ask Dale Jr.
Very unique line. It's making it work.
You can see the leaderboard there, Michael. It's pretty accurate. Keselowski, Logano, Truex, Elliott, Kyle Busch 5th. Austin Dillon's back in 6th. Well, Dillon and Busch are trading 5th back and forth every lap, it seems.
A little bit down the front straightaway the last lap. Not wanting to give up the inside line of Kevin Harvick.
The top 4 have driven away. Elliott, Truex, Logano, Keselowski, they're gone. Austin Dillon's struggling now.
They're lined up right now.
Driving a little too hard, I think, this early in the run. It's going to bite him in the ass.
Still can't quite get there.
He doesn't want to get freight trained, but the 4 of Kevin Harvick filling the void behind the 10 as well.
And Austin just can't quite get off.
Woo.
He tries to back
Almirola
up.
gets by
Found
Austin
this
Dillon
gap
now.
right here. You better get to
Now
the
Harvick's
bottom.
looking under Dillon. What happened to the 3 car?
He's inside that quarter panel, guys.
He just couldn't quite do it. He wanted to. Just never could quite get there. Now he's looking behind him. There's a hole right there in front of Kurt Busch.
And Austin Dillon's going to settle in 8th.
Kind of stop the bleeding, so to speak. Now Austin Dillon has had a fast car all night long. Has he really been passed all night, right? On equal tires, and he just didn't get passed. Now he's doing an evaluation. What's wrong with my car? Why can't I go?
Yeah, Dillon finished second last week,
You're scared.
Michael.
And all that good run is going to go away with a bad change.
150 laps to go.
Gotta remain calm, give information to your team, go back to work.
So we fell back to the 8th spot now. That's where he has settled in. Keselowski, Logano 1 and 2. Mark Truex Jr. 3rd. Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, Almirola, and Harvick.
Tomorrow we're going to wake up
Austin Dillon.
and the words Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be in the same sentence. Shit's wild. Just a random football thought while I'm sitting here looking forward to tomorrow.
Throughout the night, getting some stage points there at one point. Kurt Busch doing great work with a car that just, you cannot seem to get the rear in the racetrack, consistently struggling to get the power down late in the runs.
Kurt Busch grabbed 4 stage points.
Dillon was 80-1 at the start of the race.
And again,
Probably about back to that point now. He's really faded here.
he's 7 points above Clint Boyer, who was in that 13th
Maybe it'll
spot.
come back to him as they run.
After
I think it's going to go green almost all the way, I would imagine.
Away from these two guys. Once they got
There's a
around.
real separation of the top 4 from everybody else.
Trying to get around his teammate. Finally makes the pass. Dave.
Alec Almirola is going to lose 6th here to his teammate Kevin Harvick, but it's been a great night for the 10 so far. And a good run considering that they're working through communications from Concord, North Carolina to Richmond, Virginia. Johnny Klossmeyer, the crew chief, was suspended this week for 2 loose lug nuts at the end of last week's race. So the replacement is competition director Greg Zipadelli. He is here in between Zipadelli and engineer Mike Cook here, and then Johnny Klossmeyer.
Why is Calvin Ridley so inconsistent? I think with Ridley,
This race for Eric Almirola.
you're going to see the real Calvin Ridley. It usually takes most receivers. Year 3, you know what you got. And this is going to be Ridley's year 3. We'll know what he is this year, for sure. He was also fighting for catches on a team with Julio Jones and Austin Hooper, but Austin Hooper's not there anymore. They didn't get Hayden Hurst, though. He's kind of unproven. He damn well better be good. But I think you'll see the more real Calvin Ridley. Also, Mohamed Sanu was there as well. Sanu's been gone since 4 or 5 games into last season now. So between Sanu, Julio, Ridley, and Hooper, there weren't a lot of balls going around. The Falcons are better when they're spreading the ball around.
Not really overdriving the race car. You can see that low exit off turn 4 certainly gives you.
Matt Ryan's best games are when he doesn't have to heave it to Julio.
Careful on the throttle. Straight runs off the corner.
That was the Steelers' problem. They were too A-B dependent. That's why they never won shit. And been through like 8,000 interceptions. Oh my God, he threw like 5,000 yards, but he had like 20 interceptions because he's throwing the ball to AB 25 times a game, whether he's covered or not. Matt Ryan's not going to do that for anybody. He is not going to force the ball to anyone. He's going to throw to who's open and who's safe.
You're making an excuse for me now. I just had a brain fart. Sorry about that. Good catch, Steve. Hey, listen,
That's why Matt Ryan doesn't turn the ball over.
And I was trying to follow who was on top, but I like what he said when you asked him, what kind of confidence would he have in Greg Zipadelli, and he's like, he's a champion.
Come on, Truex. You got to do better than 2.5 seconds behind if you want to give me my money.
Think about that as a backup. Greg Zipadelli's the guy that steps in. That's a heck of a backup for the 14 car.
Yeah, champion crew chief there with Tony Stewart.
Brad Keselowski. Same car he won New Hampshire with. And it damn sure looks like it.
Playoffs from Richmond. This telecast presented by Toyota.
Caw. Oh, Ricky Rudd. Ricky Rudd's a son of a bitch, ain't he? People used to give Earnhardt shit. He's dirty. Hell, Rudd was just as bad as Earnhardt was. Ricky Rudd and Rusty Wallace. I think Rusty was even worse than Earnhardt was at times. Why is Devontae Freeman tweeting that he's blessed for football? Motherfucker, you ain't even on a team. He's asking for too much money for a guy who's like 4'9" and can't block a fucking pass rusher. Trust me, Devontae Freeman can't pick up a blitz. That cost me a Super Bowl, so. I loved Freeman at his best, but blocker he was not.
Open returns to NBC next week.
Tiger Woods.
Foot Golf Club in New York. World's best will take on golf's toughest challenge. Coverage Thursday to Sunday on Golf Channel, Peacock, and NBC. There's that bumper cam you like so much, Junior. And all right, guys, I want to take a look at tonight's Ram trucks built to serve.
And caution free so far. Pretty much.
Gone caution free.
Well, Junior.
If it does, you're going to have to make a big decision. You pit just once, or are tires so valuable you break it up into thirds and
yeah, Rudd was always underappreciated on road courses. What the fuck? My NBC app just switched to a screen that said coverage concluded, NBC golf, and then it cut back to the race. I then. I want to watch the race.
Now, Steve.
Please let me watch the race.
Well, Jeff, if I'm Kevin Harvick, I know the answer. I'm going to run 55
We split this bitch in half.
Tires. I'm going to pit. I'm going to run 55 more laps. I'm going to pit again. I'm going to be a lap down, already a little bit of the time, but I'm going to be the fastest car on the racetrack. And all you guys worried about points are going to be sweating the pace of the 4 car if I'm Rodney Jones.
Hey, Steve, is this where your calculator is burning up on top of the pit box? I'm sure
Truex is picking up some ground here. Got it back to under 2 seconds. He was 2.5 back. Now he's 1.8 back. Logano staying about the same behind Brad, about a second to a second and a half.
To a 2-stop strategy, they did a 1-stopper at stage 2. He said, trust me, we're paying attention. So to me, that means I think the leaders are all going to flip over to what Rodney Childers did here in the final stage, and that could be the winning move to win tonight at Richmond, Steve.
Well, I can tell you, Marty, if I am...
Well, that's the one good thing if this race goes green.
One of those cars who are close to that
2 different pit strategies.
I don't think I risk it. I know that sounds bad, Rick, and you were giving up the chance to win the race if you only stop once. But risk versus reward, it's not just math. The caution could end your playoff hopes. You look right there, the 10 currently +7, the 1 car +11. Even Kyle Busch. What's more important for Kyle Busch? A win or points? Oh, and by the way, Adam Stevens is going to have to make that decision from North Carolina. Yeah. So, I mean, it is very tough for these crew chiefs to figure out what you need to do, Parker.
Right, Steve. And so I wondered, what would the 18 do? So Jacob Cantor is going in for Adam Stevens on top of the pit box. I thought I could trick him into telling me what he's doing. So I said 1 or 2 stops. He gave me the, it's very close, and then the indecision symbol, basically saying, I'm not going to tell you what we're doing. He's still a real pro, Dave.
Parker, that's a similar conversation I had with James Small.
Then why did you even ask?
Earlier today about a possible 2-stop strategy in the final stage. He said, I really have it on the table now. The last stage, he did the 1-stop strategy. So we'll see if he flips a switch and goes to the 2-stop. He has it in his back pocket, just in case.
You know, the only thing we know for sure, Rick, is if you ask a crew chief what he's going to do, he's going to tell you a whole lot of nothing. Because he's not going to tell you if it's 1 or 2. They're not going to show your hand. So, well, Chiefs are holding those cards tight.
Did Kevin Harvick show his hand too soon then by showing how great that strategy was in the second stage?
I think Rodney Childers sat back in the pit box, rested his right arm on the Darlington Trophy, and said, here you go, boys, this is what I'm going to do. Try to catch me.
Winning solves a lot of problems, doesn't it, Steve?
Winning makes you feel good, doesn't it?
Most every problem I had as a crew chief was solved in victory lane. I just had to find my way there.
And again, Kevin Harvick, the mistake getting onto pit road.
I think the toughest decision might be Austin Dillon in the free car. I mean, they're +33 above the cut line. You have to say, man, they're having an unbelievable...
No balls. Go for the win.
Over-the-top run at Darlington in second. A great car tonight.
You've got the stage points in the bank. Go for it.
Your risk. If you gamble, it works. You have created more momentum than you could have ever dreamed. If you gamble and it doesn't work, then you just take every bit of air out of the balloon.
No, they got stage points.
Is it completely gone?
They scored 18 points tonight.
If you're Austin Dillon, the way he has run tonight, as we mentioned before, he let...
I think he's got to do something now because they're 7th. They had dropped to 8th. He's running 7th. Doesn't look to be anywhere as good as he was earlier. Take the chance. Take the risk.
Stage points in this race that he's gained in any other race too. So the addition of stage points opens the door for him to maybe gamble a little bit because he went and got those.
Gamble.
Tough call.
Go big or go home. You fuckers ain't gonna win any other way.
Like you said, the negative is good tires on. You're fast. The caution comes out and it catches you and you're in trouble. But the strategy is the right thing to do, in my opinion. Pitting twice. Somebody that's having not a good night, but is doing all that he can at the moment. Matthew Benedetto.
17th, a lap down is all he can do. That's pretty fucking low standard, guys.
To be the first car 1 lap down. He's driven really hard. He's gotten in front of some guys that were in front of him. He wants a caution in the worst way right now to put himself back in the lead lap. Very ugly start, but doing all he can at the moment to make the most out of what they've had tonight.
Right behind him. Look at the view that we're getting from the guaranteed rate camera on the lower left bumper. And Junior, I know you said you wanted him to hit something with it. I'm sure that the guys in front of him right now don't want that to happen.
Well, these are the shots we get from this spectacular camera. Watching Tyler Reddick trying to work around Denny Hamlin. He's struggling right now.
Sweaty balls. Sweaty balls and puckered assholes, Jeff.
Second week in a row, Jeff, you've seen the 11 lose track position and just not been able to recover. Darlington falls in track position, could not gain it back. These cars he's racing around are all a lap down, 42 car to the next car for position. Denny Hamlin, Dave. And we've been trying to diagnose what's going on with Denny. Let me just give you this clue. At the beginning of the race, when he was leading and adjusting on the race car, he was using adjustments as like 16th and a 32nd here and a 16th there. But listen to his last call and what the car is doing.
I mean, we are awful. I mean, I can't, you know, but the deep speed of it, the bottom listen to the front part and plow the center and then just, I mean, snap it loose. Yeah, that's right. I got to offset a bunch of air pressure. I'll go back on it.
Plowing loose off the adjustments now are very exaggerated.
Denny Hamlin is not happy with his car.
Very exaggerated and not a happy driver right now.
6 wins already on the season. Has it comfortably in the top 12, but a difficult race here is making it hard as we go NASCAR nonstop.
Yay, NASCAR nonstop. Just waiting for pit strategies to play out. We're a ways off from that still. Probably about 20 to 25 laps away, I'd be willing to bet. Well, the fan's not helping me at all because I have to aim it away from the mic. Austin Dillon's back up to 6th. He passed Harvick. Pretty sure he's got a better car than Kyle Busch and Fitz, so he'll probably get back in the top 5. I'd still take the chance to try to win the race. Be aggressive. These guys are still not good enough to beat Penske, Gibbs, Stewart-Haas, or whoever, just straight up. They've got to probably take a chance. Ew. Who goes to Wendy's for breakfast? Who goes to any fast food place for breakfast? What'd be good for me is to get some eggs and fucking sausage every day. I need to start doing that. Protein, bitch. I always love when they show in the Xfinity commercial Custer and Reddick wrestling with each other at Kansas last year. That was pretty funny. Go Austin Dillon. Yeah, Michael. Could be rolling in money by the end of this thing.
Keselowski still a 1.6 second lead over teammates Joey Logano, but we know the pit stops are coming, and that means all eyes will be on the pit crew, the All-Stars. 12 seconds.
Hey now, you're an All-Star. Go fuck yourself.
Filling full of fuel. So the spotlight will definitely be on pit road, and it's coming up inside of 10 laps. And Steve, we're seeing and hearing some teams talk about this two-tire or a two-stop last stage.
Yeah, I think in the next 3 to 5
Go for it.
we're gonna see a wave of cars hitting pit road.
But not too early.
They're gonna have, they don't need perfect stops, just no mistakes. You can't come in a second time. You can't have penalties.
drivers, I'd be reminding my driver, Dale Jr., you know, don't hit
Denny Hamlin, the first to pit road.
the first taker, the 11th.
Looked pretty fast, too.
Issue, Dave.
That's pretty early. That's a little early. It's about 5 to 10 laps early.
They'll pit twice in this final stage. Adjustments here, trying to get Denny back on track.
Denny Hamlin, I'm sure it'll work out beautifully.
Very many options, but they'll take one here.
Well, we saw guys that came 4 or 5 laps early. You mentioned it, Rick. You know,
Chris Buescher to pit
the tires
road.
are good, but then they kind of level out. It's not like you continue.
He's not really a factor, though.
We'll see if this forces
Austin
someone
Dillon to
else
5th. He just blew by Kyle Busch like he wasn't even there.
Leaders are concerned about Denny.
Joey Logano to pit road.
Busch for 5th place.
If I was Austin Dillon, I'd be pitting in the next couple of laps.
Leaders better pay attention to the 22s there, Marty.
And here comes Joey Logano. Paul Wolf making the call to bring him in a little bit earlier than everybody else, hoping if he can get these 4 fresh Goodyear tires of all those who are going to do 2 stops on a little bit earlier, he can gain some track position. Joey saying, I don't have the rear grip on this run that I had last time. Kevin Harvick also coming down pit road as he works his way.
Harvick in. Truex in.
Actually said his car was a little bit too tight for Harvick.
Keselowski in.
The last run. And coming down pit road, leader Brad Keselowski.
I think everybody's going to try this deal.
They did flip to this 2
Austin Dillon is in.
Martin Truex Jr. leaving pit road.
So this might just even out. I don't know. So many guys are doing it. Chase Elliott's in. Yep, everybody's pitting. Literally everybody.
Trying to win the race at Richmond. We'll see
Yep.
what happens.
So now it's just an even playing field. Everybody's doing it.
These guys are all wanting to be aggressive.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think we saw in that first stage.
Nobody's going to have an advantage or disadvantage. And Kyle Busch got held up from his pit box for just a split second.
Just had to avoid back to Benedetto, slides to a stop in his box. He said it fired off great at the beginning of the
So
run.
far, Kurt Busch and Matt Kenseth are the only 2 that have not pitted, from what I can tell.
Chase Elliott leading pit road, having his best Richmond run in recent memory. Car's been pretty good. Chase saying he just needs more drive.
Joey Logano is going to have the lead over Brad Keselowski here, I think.
Also hurt the centers. Harvick flashes by.
That's really unfortunate.
It makes this
Harvick is ahead of
It didn't
Elliott.
seem stressful when everybody was doing it, but you look on the left-hand
Dillon
side,
is ahead of both of them.
Kurt Busch has yet to come to pit road. What that means is
Kurt Busch, Matt Kenseth have not yet pitted.
I'm waiting to hear. He's going to be on a one-stop strategy. Why that matters is because
So Kurt Busch and Matt Kenseth are doing the one-stop deal.
We had just talked about Chase Elliott and having a little success here. When we talked to Alan Gustafson
Okay, then.
earlier this week, he said, if we learn
As the world turns.
from Richmond, I will be happy. Because it's never been one of their better tracks. So Alan Gustafson's got to feel pretty good after the performance that he's seeing out of the 9 car now.
Oh, absolutely. This 9 car has been consistent. I wouldn't say it's been the best car here, but it's a couple adjustments away. It's right
Logano,
there inside the
Keselowski,
top
Truex,
5, 6 all
Dillon,
night long.
followed by Harvick and Elliott. Kurt Busch and Kenseth have not pitted. They're 1-2.
Trying to get by late in the race. They end up wrecking.
100 laps to go next time by.
Focusing forward, going to get some points tonight. Hey.
Good run tonight for the Chip Ganassi Racing 42 of Matt Kenseth. You can see
The left rear looks a little soft on the 42 here.
they will stay on this strategy. He was just told another 15 to 20 before they'll come to pit road. Of course, that coming from crew chief Phil Surgeon. Matt staying on the track.
This, Junior, is when you feel like you're out there on an island all by yourself. It's a terrible feeling. Look how these cars just fly by you.
2 cars decided to do the one-stop strategy.
To make this strategy work, you've got to make good lap time. And it's hard to do it with all these people passing you.
that's what kills it even worse now, juniors. I just don't think you can make lap time when you're the only one out there.
Well, what happens in the mind of the driver is he sees these guys that are so much quicker, and you really kind of lose confidence in the plan. You're not on the pit box with all the data to understand exactly how this is going to work out.
If this works out and Joe Logano wins this race, I'm going to be highly upset. He was the first one to pit road of everybody, and it got him the lead. Not by much, just about a second over Brad.
You just don't understand as a driver how could this be the way to win the race when everybody's just driving by you at such a high rate of speed.
Good God, Kurt Busch and Matt Kenseth are 8 miles an hour slower than everybody on average right now.
At this point, when everybody's going
a button on both sides. Like, I think it's going to work, right?
Yeah, I think the best thing to do, you talked about it, Jeff, trying to make lap time, is get up the racetrack. If you run the bottom of the racetrack, you obviously can't get in the throttle when you have cars going around the outside of you. Maybe use the higher line to be able to use a little more throttle, carry a little more speed down the straightaway. You have to give up so much time running part throttle off the corner, letting guys go around that top side, Marty.
And a little bit further back of the two stoppers, the Team Penske guys. You got to give credit to Paul Wolf. He brought Joey Logano just one lap earlier. One lap is all it was before his teammate Brad Keselowski, and it worked. They jumped Keselowski.
Brad is faster than Logano, though. Logano's running into some heavy traffic, and Brad was faster the last 2 laps anyway. So keep the faith, people. Joe Logano won't win. Let's keep the faith. Yeah, Kurt Busch is a top 10 car, and their points position is not exactly secure. So, yeah, this is a risk. He needs a caution just before he needs to pit, and I'd drag everybody to pit road with him. We'll find out shortly. Keselowski is catching Logano. That's the battle for second, but it's going to be the battle for the lead. They've both passed Kenseth, who still has not pitted. Well, this is actually really interesting to watch. But go Brad. Please, Brad. Never would have thought Ryan Blaney would be a first-round elimination, but it's looking that way. DiBenedetto, sure, but not Blaney. And I never thought Austin Dillon would be running so well. Leading laps and getting stage points and shit. All that juicy lap traffic. Here comes Brad. A little wide there in 1 and 2. I don't know what the hell that line was. And it hurt him on corner exit. I thought the two-stop strategy was bold until literally everybody started doing it. So now it's like the other way around. The one-stop strategy is pretty fucking bold. Brad's making another run at Logano now. Custer's doing a good job of staying on the lead lap.
Penske drivers fighting once again for the lead in the Federated Auto Parts 400. Coming up on 88 laps to go from the short track here. Logano has the lead, but you see how close Keselowski is.
Kurt Busch can pit any time now. They're in the window.
Lap traffic ahead of them. That's going to affect this battle. Old Custer trying to get around Christopher Bell. Old trying to stay.
Custer and Bill are holding up Logano so bad, and now Brad is on his bumper.
Right on the back of that 22 car.
Move over. The better Penske driver's coming through. Going to the outside of Logano. I think he's going to take it here. Off of 4. Nope, Logano stays clear. Kurt Busch just pitted. Pretty sure Matt Kenseth did too. God, these lap cars. They're just trying to stay on the lead lap. And Custer's a playoff guy, so you can't knock him. Oh.
And again, these two cars in front are fighting to stay on the lead lap.
Now Brad's to the inside of Logano. After lap after lap of looking to the outside, he's to the inside. Custer and Bill too wide in front of the leaders. Oh, I love it when teammates have to race each other this hard because it just leads to bad feelings.
And hang on to the lead.
I love it.
So much pressure being
All that juicy
put
Team
on him
Penske
by
drama
Brad Keselowski.
that could potentially be brewing here.
Just trying to do everything he can to get around this lap car. Brad is so much better.
Brad all over Logano, pushing him up off of 2.
Upsetting the back
He's underneath him again.
car.
Wow, low downforce, good racing. Who'd have thought?
To the inside.
Bill right. This is going to open up the door for Brad. He's there. Bill right in front of Logano.
Joey doesn't try to go to the middle, make it 3 wide.
And Brad takes the lead for now.
Brad's going to take the lead.
He is clear.
Back on the outside, but can't
Go,
do it.
Brad. Fuck Joey Logano. Go, Brad.
Amazing confidence that Brad
Good
has
battle.
had all week long talking about this race.
83 to
How
go.
he expected to come here and win this race. Not only win the race, guys, but dominate the race is what he expected to do. I don't know who's reading his fortune, but they got it going on.
119 laps led already by Keselowski, and he is adding to that number, Marty.
And Rick, he was bold in our call earlier this week saying, as Jeff said, I expect to go, dominate, and win. And if I don't, it'll be a disappointment. So what fuels all that confidence? Well, this is a brand new car they had at New Hampshire. Brad went there, dominated the race, and won. He said, for the first time since I jumped in the 2-car with the new race team that came over in the switch of the offseason, I felt like that's what we needed. We had dominated a race, and that's what we need to do to win the championship. Jeremy Rollins told me earlier today, I'm so confident in this car that right now, this is the car I plan to take to Phoenix. I plan on being in the championship 4, and I plan on us winning a championship with this race car in about a month and a half.
You have to have confidence, but you also have to have the ability to get by the 4 of Kevin Harvick. Let's ride along with Kevin. Jeff, take us
Championship race at Phoenix, a.k.a. the Kevin Harvick Lifetime Achievement Award.
Piece of Cam's going to give us a great shot. You see what Kevin Harvick's dealing with right now. Got some lap traffic.
80 laps to go.
What's that high line on corner entry? He's trying to turn the car and then leave exceptionally straight right there. It's so important. If you can leave straight.
You know, I know Harvick got lucky and won Darlington last week, but this is the second race in a row they've not been a factor. Because he wasn't a factor at Darlington, he got lucky. And this second week in a row, they're just kind of meh. They're good, but not as good as they were coming into the playoffs. So I think that win last week's a little misleading. But they have such a big playoff point cushion, it really wouldn't matter anyway, because they're still good enough. More than good enough. Just food for thought. Look at all that damage on Nemechek. How did he get that? The rear spoiler on Nemechek's car is jacked up in the air.
Won't really do that down here. Playing with the throttle there. There's a little bit like a odd little spot in the middle of 3 and 4. Oh, he overruns the corner there to get up the racetrack here. Pretty unique line. A lot of things you can do to move around and make speed here. Really have the freedom.
So when do you make your second stop? You can do it any time now.
Right there off turn 2.
Not quite yet, though. You could. Be pretty bold.
Keselowski out in front, 126 laps led.
Be looking for the 3 car to be first to pit road, I think. Austin Dillon or Truex should be the first to pit road for the last stop. You guys see Georgia Tech's punter? Well, that's random, but... Yay, Truex is catching Logano for second. Get after it, Truex. I need that money. Well, I don't need it, but it'd be cool to get it for once. It ain't going to be $20, but it'll be something. Should have had 20 last week.
Tracker 800 SX does it all. With impressive towing and payload capacity, it makes the hard jobs easy. Plus, an engine that's quietest in its class. Available now at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Some Bass Pro Shops on the hood. This 19 car by Martin Truex Jr. And Martin Truex Jr. running in the 3rd spot now. His consistency has been amazing. Turning it on as the playoffs have gotten underway.
It's closed in a little bit with the 22. He's got about the same speed as the 22. The 3, though, Austin Dillon behind these 2 cars, much quicker. Almost as quick as the leader, Greg Keselowski, out front. See if Austin can make some work of these guys.
Go, Truex. Boo, he got loose.
For that 2nd spot heats up. It's a great time to go through the field. That way, make sure to talk about Martin Truex Jr. in the 2nd position.
Now he's up to 2nd. And there's Austin Dillon right behind him.
We'll keep an eye on that battle as well. But Rick,
Brad's got a nice 3-second lead. Almost 3.5 seconds.
We've got a great shot to win it all this year because our short track program is the strength of our program at Team Penske. And if you look at the championship...
Boy, if they ever make the championship race a road course race, Chase Elliott's your fucking guy.
His muscle leading 135 laps so far, Dave.
Martin Truex Jr. showed us last week at Darlington Raceway just how aggressive he would be to try to get a win late in the race, colliding with Chase Elliott.
Come on, get me the money, Truex. You got to beat Brad to pit road to have a shot at it. Look at Austin Dillon up to 3rd. Logano back to 4th.
Going to win the race tonight, but you know what? It's going to be patience. That's going to be the key. Austin Dillon's already gotten by him though, and he told me earlier this week, I love pressure.
Whoa, Austin Dillon. Whoa, he's got a problem. He missed pit road. What an idiot. Austin Dillon tried to get to pit road and completely missed it, and he lost a lot of time. Well, the good news is you're still going to be the first to pit road. I wish Truex would pit this time by for my sake. Please. Okay, Austin Dillon coming to pit road. He sped on pit road and missed pit road tonight. He's not there yet. He made it to pit road this time. Just don't speed.
So the first to come to pit road.
Truex, pit now. Please.
Final stage, Marty.
Show me the money.
Can't have mistakes like that, especially late in a race like this in round 1 of the playoffs. Austin Dillon has had a terrific car all evening long. We'll see how this plays out for this race team. They were thinking kind of what Joey Logano did on that first time.
Well, that's not going to be as good this time, but maybe they'll gain something out of this still. Truex didn't seem to get hurt by it when he did it.
So we're going to be 4 fresh-figure tires here.
Not much anyway. He just didn't gain what he should have.
They've been so good on the long run.
Truex, please, pit.
We'll see where this cycles out the 3 car.
That's definitely early for someone to come to pit road. 63.
Ah, fuck it. Earlier the better.
Tires, I would expect for him to run about another 6 or 8 laps. Here it is, guys. Seems like a last-minute decision or just missed time.
Yeah, who the fuck made that call?
I think a good decision to go back on the racetrack, and there's no way he would have gotten a little bit orange box. So part of the problem was...
There you go, I like it. I'm going to quit. Part of the problem was that he wasn't able to get slow enough to get all 4 tires on the apron. He had 2 on the apron and 2 on the banking. And it's hard to brake like that. It's hard to get the car slow down.
Keep them calm.
Just simply trying to carry too much speed.
He's about 4 seconds behind Brad Keselowski. when he made that mistake, came to pit road probably about 6 seconds behind the leader. He's hoping to be able to cut 6 seconds for Brad Keselowski right now. With his cycles, it will definitely put him in the lead if we do not have a yellow.
Yeah, for sure, because no one else has countered his move, right?
Yeah, Austin Dillon should still be okay.
As well, I think they're concerned about having 60 laps on their tires or going to the finish. So
they were hoping, I'm sure, that they might bring more people to pit road. They also have
Denny Hamlin to pit road. Truex, pit now. Please.
Pit road now for their final stop, maybe. 4 fresh tires and Sunoco fuel for Denny.
The fuck was that, Dave Burns? Maybe. Logano and Elliott to pit road. Fucking Truex. I'm not going to get my money tonight at this rate. Keselowski to pit road. Truex still not pitted. Now Truex is pitting. He missed his chance, but he's pitting now. Tried to tell you. Austin Dillon, the 3 team had the right idea. It's not the crew chief's fault that Austin Dillon sucks and missed pit road.
Using more brake than others, he said, I don't know how that's possible, Marty. Brad Keselowski, an outstanding run. What could be the final stop of the night at Richmond. They have been dominant here this evening. 4 fresh tire crowd wants no adjustments to the car. He has said it's gotten a little bit tighter the longer they run, but they have barely turned anything on this car in terms of an adjustment today, Parker.
Damn, Truex had an 11.8 second stop. 11.8 for the Truex pit stop. I don't think he's going to beat Brad out, though. Kyle Busch is your leader for now. Well, that one-stop strategy is just not going to work for Kurt Busch and Matt Kenseth. They are so screwed.
So this idea for the 18, the 4th Kevin Harvick, is they know they're going to probably come to pit road again, but they want to have better tires at the end of this run. So they're going to run a little bit longer here, and that will put them in the offense. You know, when they pit, they're going to split it up. Math would say dead in the middle, so probably 2 or 3 more laps for Kyle Busch, probably 2 more laps and they'll come to pit road. And as Brad Keselowski crosses the finish,
It'll be Austin Dillon, Brad Keselowski, Martin Truex, Joe Logano, and Chase Elliott at the top 5. Austin Dillon's going to have the lead. Oh, boy.
Obviously a slow lap when he missed pit road, and also that was the slowest pit stop they had all night long. So a little mistake by the pit crew and a mistake by the driver as well. Dave.
Here's William Byron on pit road now. Struggle all evening for the 24 car. Has been off the lead lap most of the night. They'll get their set of tires here at Sunoco Fuel.
William Byron in the playoffs, fighting to stay in the round of 12, but you know it's going to be difficult if you go to Bristol and are in a must-win situation. Parker.
And Steve, you were correct. It was about 3 more laps before Kyle Busch decides to come down pit road. He's been very happy with that car. Just saying it's a little bit loose off of the.
Yeah, Dillon's not going to have the biggest lead. It'll be about 2 seconds at best. Still going to be a great night for him. Harvick the last to pit road. Kyle Busch leaving the pits now. Did Harvick hit the box again?
Dragging the left front tire, trying to get
No, but he was dragging the tire. Wow, that's no big deal. He made it.
Didn't want to have another mistake, Marty.
Making sure he didn't hit that box this time, Rick. And whether this works out or not, you got to give Rodney Childress credit. Of course, they have the wins in the bank that we've talked about. But at least they're trying something different tonight than everybody else. Pitting later than everyone else with 52 to go. What they think should be the final stop of the night. Little tape on the front.
Didn't have a winning car tonight for Harvick, so you might as well try something different.
On that run, we'll see how this works out and where he cycles out with everybody else.
Cycles Kurt Busch into the lead, but Austin Dillon is within a second, taking that lead from
And
Kurt
wow,
Busch.
Brad Keselowski has already caught Austin Dillon. They still haven't caught Kurt Busch for the lead just yet, but they're getting there.
Kurt Busch, I think, will easily be overtaking all those old tires.
And Brad is about to pass Austin Dillon. No, not yet.
Eventually, Rick.
There you see Kurt Busch.
You see
on the
Kurt
inside.
Busch just ahead.
He's gonna
He's fucked. 50 to go on them tires. He's fucked.
here, that outside line. I
Boy, Austin Dillon had the perfect strategy and he blew it. He flat out fucking blew it.
Get by the one, but he's got pressure behind him for the two.
Austin Dillon to the lead, but probably not for long.
Back to the point at Richmond.
Jay Hamler behind these guys, trying to get around there and get his lap back.
Austin Dillon.
God damn it, Truex ain't close enough to take advantage if these guys get stupid. Keselowski's underneath Austin Dillon. Way to go, Austin, you blew it.
Keselowski once again is up
He
front.
totally blew it tonight. Twice.
Trying to figure out how the 11 lost so much time. Here he had a 15-second pit stop, so that's why he looks a lap down.
Brad's in the lead with 47 to go this time by.
Keselowski continuing to add to his
Truex too far back to do anything. I'm not getting my money. Need a caution. Really need a caution. Oh well. Hoping for a caution. Boy, I'd like to get that money. I think you're right, Jeff. We need a crew chief change on the one car. Now my NBC app is back on the golf thing. I want to watch the race. If you don't fucking mind, I'd like to watch the race. Coverage is not concluded, and this was not golf. It's the fucking Richmond Cup race. Oh, we're back. Martin Truex is second, 3 seconds behind Brad. 40 to go. Give me a caution. Please. What the fuck is up? What happened to Austin Dillon? He faded big time.
2 laps down. So 2/3 of the pit. I mean, 2 laps down.
Okay, Austin Dillon's fourth now. Truex gained a little on Brad that lap. We'll see if it continues.
Bristol way behind, having to make something happen. Parker, what do you have?
Well, Jeff, you pointed out they came to this race 17 points out of the cut line. They're now currently at 25 points. They lead this race. They finished right here. It's just been a struggle for Ryan Blaney ever since getting sent to the back and trying to drive back to the field. He just has not been able to make the progress. They tried to help him using some of the SMT data about what they're seeing other cars do, how they're driving, but he is not.
I might get my money. Truex is gaining.
Really complaining about being able to get into the corners as deep as others and just not able
For now.
to the speed in the center that he wants.
Please keep gaining.
And remember the crew chief shift.
What is up with my NBC app right now? Jesus Christ.
He said after the July win at New Hampshire, I needed a kick in the butt and admitted that. Hey, I need to be woken up a little bit. They got woken up early in this season. 2 wins, maybe they didn't expect to get. A dominant win at New Hampshire, and you see how good they are on short tracks right there. Brad Keselowski.
Brad's starting to stretch it out a little bit. It's stabilized at least.
You're right. On Thursday, he called a shot, told us they were going to come
Need a
here,
miracle.
dominate and win. Right now, with 38 laps, 36 laps to go, looks like Brad might know what he was talking about.
Feel better about working out after this race if I get some money.
Jeremy Boland's now calling a shot for the 2. And
Sure would be nice.
Called him Letarte 2.0. So is he saying that Boland is the second coming of the Letarte? Is that how this works?
Well, that's the best compliment I've got in a long time, if he really believes that. Jeremy Boland is a brilliant crew chief. Funny story. He was, ink dry to be Dale Jr. and I's engineer. And then he got the opportunity to be a crew chief at Team Penske in the Xfinity program. He called me up the day after he signed. When I talked to Mr. Hendrick, Rick said, listen, we're not going to hold the guy to a piece of paper. This is a great opportunity. He can be a crew chief at the Xfinity level. We're not going to hold him as an engineer at the Cup level. He worked his way up through the organization. And, I mean, look where he is now. He deserves everything that's coming his way. Very, very smart.
33 to go.
Political. That was pretty funny. He said he was Letarte 2.0, and you said, yes, brilliant guy. Very brilliant. Well, you know.
Brilliant.
I didn't mean all that, but.
I bet the call that Jeremy Bullens had to make. Hey, by the way, I got this situation.
I'll never forget it.
I got an opportunity. I mean,
there's not many times in your career you have to
13 cars on the lead lap. Tyler Reddick's the last car on the lead lap.
Oh, yeah.
You know, in that situation.
Ryan Blaney's 2 down. DiBenedetto's 1 down in 17th.
Probably got his leg up.
Byron 2 down in 23rd. Ouch.
Right now, recovering.
Yeah, the weaker, more inconsistent teams are definitely weeding themselves out. Doing a damn good job of it.
Last year, Dave, but
Truex has not gained anything in a while, about 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, he's working hard on that gap. It started out about 3 seconds after he got around Logano. That's got around Dillon, actually. And has only managed to get it down to about 2.5. And think of the changes this year. That sweep he had last year was with a different crew chief. And this year, with James Small, things have slowly been coming together. After that last pit stop, a little bit of a disconcerting radio transmission from the driver. He said, I don't feel good about it again. It seems to be coming around to him, but he's certainly not mowing down Keselowski at this point, and he's only got 30 laps left to do it, Rick.
Make that 29 laps left.
he's put together a pretty impressive.
Another fucking side by side. Better get him in while you can.
Still out front though as we go NASCAR non-stop.
Never thought the highest running Chevrolet would be Austin Dillon. Although you got a few others in the top 10. Elliott's right there in 5th. Bowman and Kurt Busch are 9th and 10th, but Kurt Busch ain't going to be 10th for very long. Not on that retarded-ass strategy. Austin Dillon coming back to life again as he does later in the run. He's on Logano for 3rd. Boy, if he could just stop shooting himself in the foot. Could have totally won this race. According to the leaderboard, Truex has closed another 4/10, but it's still a solid 2-second gap. If I bet on Truex finishing 2nd or 3rd, yeah, could have made some money for sure. Should have been more specific with my bet on Truex. Can we please get a caution? 38 of the best drivers in the world. We ain't gonna get no caution. Hate when they say that. 40 of the best drivers in the world. Bullshit. Some of the best drivers in the world and a lot of dumbasses who bought their way in.
continue next Saturday night.
Bristol.
Speedway.
Oh boy.
It's an elimination race, and it's at Thunder Valley. Race coverage beginning at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on NBC. Marty.
Austin Dillon sitting in the 4th position. It may not be the win tonight. He's still trying to get by Joey Logano there for 3rd. They've shown so much strength on the long run. But even if it's not the win for Austin Dillon, what an impressive performance in these first 2 playoff races. 2nd at Darlington, right now top 5 here at Richmond, trying to get a little bit more. And he said, I've always loved these pressure situations. I'm so thankful my parents had me play other sports as a kid.
Denny Hamlin looks like he's going to clinch for the next round tonight. They got to be, what, like 61 ahead with 1 race left? He's 64 right now. Logano's basically clinched.
Early in the 2020 playoffs, showing their strength, and right now, Rick,
just not mathematically tonight.
Plus 37 as it runs
43,
right
how's he doing? Not great. 27th, yeah, not great. Even by their standards, it's pretty bad.
16. When you were looking at the 4 cars that you didn't think were going to advance
20 to go.
12, I think a lot of people looked at that gray and said,
Make that 19 to go.
what it takes. We haven't seen it.
Truex still 2.5 seconds back, like he's been for the last 15 laps.
He showed up. A 2nd place finish last
Oh,
week.
so close.
Now running here in the top 5. Parker.
If Brad could just have a mechanical problem.
Excited to make it the playoffs that time right there, Matthew Bandel, but have not shown up since we got in the playoffs. Last week at Darlington, just did not have the speed in the car, finished 21st. They were really looking forward to tonight because this is a package.
Well, next week it's win or bust for DiBenedetto and Blaney. Everybody else can still point their way in. They're the only 2 guys that are pretty well fucked.
We have not gotten that caution to get them back on the lead lap. So what are they looking forward to from here? Well, right now, if they finish where they are, they can be 25 points out of the cut line going to Bristol. But Bristol, remember, is where Matt came so close to beating Denny Hamlin last year in that 95 car. Davey gave him the shot at this 21 car. He's going to have to throw a Hail Mary, but what a better place to go than Bristol where he came so close.
I think what concerns me a lot about this 21 car, guys, is that they really started to lose some speed as the playoffs approached. They had a pretty comfortable.
They didn't deserve to make the playoffs. Jimmy Johnson missed a race with COVID. I hate to say it, DiBenedetto does not deserve to be in the playoffs, and it shows.
Yeah, momentum is critical. And we've seen
Guys, I hate to say it, I just don't think he's as good as everybody wants him to be. I want him to be good. I just don't. Even before the DiBenedetto hop, I never understood why he kept hanging around. I'm like, why does this guy keep getting rides? He's all right. He ain't nothing special.
enough to stay in the playoffs as opposed to creating that momentum so that he can advance through this first round.
Chase Elliott, remember last week, Martin Truex Jr. battled for the win, ends up wrecking. Needed a good solid night tonight for points, and they've gotten that so far. Did a nice job. Earned, got 9 points earned today so far. So a good solid run, Marty.
And I go back to what Chase told me.
Truex still 2.5 seconds back.
Spectacular. We need solid, and we need to get better. And I would say the best run for Chase.
Who doesn't want to see a caution here? Come on.
They went back to a 28
NASCAR, I see debris.
In that race, Alan Gustin
Saw some on the apron.
I felt like we were okay in that race, but this by far better than I think Chase or that team expected tonight at Richmond right now running in the top 5.
Now, the interesting thing that Alan said that really caught my attention was he said, Darlington, we were trying to win the race. We feel pretty good that we can go run, 5th to 7th about everywhere we go. It's a gamble to try and get better than that because you can get worse. It seems like here tonight, a track they don't have a lot of confidence, they kind of shored up and did what they need to do. It'd be interesting to see the approach next week at Bristol if they are fortunate enough to finish this one off where they run.
Austin Dillon was sliding backwards.
On the plus side, this race is
Now seem to level out.
going to end pretty quick.
Putting the pressure on this 22 car, trying to retake that 3rd position back away from Joe Logano as we close in on the final few laps of this race. Was worried about the 3 car falling back once Brad Keselowski went around him, but their long run speed in this car is
That's crazy good long run speed for Austin Dillon. It's better than they've ever had.
Win, you advance. That's the way it works in the playoffs. And the bottom 4 in points are eliminated after each 3-race.
Oh, what the hell?
Stage or rounds, and we just saw there Austin Dillon.
Whether we take this three
Austin Dillon was about to. He looked like he was going to go straight into the outside wall on a straightaway.
As a contender to move deeper, even deeper into the
He's under Logano for third.
Byron, Cole, Custom, and
Well, look at that. Austin Dillon's in third.
car very seriously because his performance is eliminating at least one of those cars.
Right now, if things ended right now today, he is 38 points to the good.
Coming to 9 laps to go.
Who would have picked that? Give him credit. Right?
Single-digit laps.
That's when, Austin talked about it.
Anybody's arm itching out there?
Did those things.
Hey, Boyer, I think your arm's itching.
Team and driver have stepped up for the playoffs. Got to reward them and just, give them credit.
It's about that time, ain't it?
Already at the start.
Somebody's arm's got to be itching.
Will hurt them as they didn't get a lot of playoff points throughout the regular season. That's what advances from round to round with each team.
Interesting there.
Now Logano's back under Dillon. Why do I have a feeling something bad's going to happen between these two? I'd be all for it. It'd be pretty funny. Logano takes the spot back.
You don't want to give NASCAR any reason to throw a yellow because it won't take much.
Junior ain't got much of a voice left after calling 2 races today.
Brad Slass is comfortably ahead, 7 laps to go. But anything can bring out a yellow here late.
What's going on with this car?
Please tell me he's going to blow a tire.
It looked like he was going to drive away, and then all of a sudden, he's lost some speed here.
It's weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, now and behind him, Chase Elliott, that 9 car is starting to run him down a little bit.
Coming up on 5 laps to go. Junior, you mentioned it, a race where there has not been an incident on track to bring out a caution.
Yeah.
There was a
Please keep jinxing it.
The end of stage 1, the end of stage 2. Those are the only.
We only got 5 fucking laps now.
That the yellow flag has been displayed.
And car brushes the fence, any kind of debris pretty much anywhere on the property. He's probably going to bring out a yellow right now for Brad Keselowski. He doesn't want that, obviously. Coming to 4 to go.
I will say, though, I'll give NASCAR credit. A couple years ago they made the statement, we're going to be very clear and clean with our yellows. I think they've done overall a pretty good job since then.
Well, ever since they started scheduling cautions, we don't need bullshit yellows anymore. But it'd be nice to get one right now.
Penske day. As Brad Keselowski and Joey Logano are looking very strong here in the Cup Series race, which is the 2nd race of the playoffs. Earlier today, Austin Cindric in the Xfinity Series clinched the
3 to go.
season championship. That's going to be a lot of playoff points for him that he'll be able to advance.
I keep looking at the leaderboard because I know the NBC app is slightly behind. I keep wanting to see the leader thing turn yellow. But I don't think we're going to get it.
And now Brad Keselowski, who earlier this week called his shot, said, we think we would be disappointed if we didn't go out and dominate and win the race at Richmond. He said that 3-4 days ago. And now, with just 2 laps to go and a 2.5 second lead, Brad Keselowski is backing up what he said earlier.
1 to go. Credit 1 bank. Blah, blah, blah. Not going to get any money this week either.
One more time around, you heard it. He won't get to you. 2.6 seconds, the difference between Keselowski and Martin Truex Jr. Mentioned earlier. It was all the way back.
Going to be a good points day for Elliott and Bowman. That's the positives I'll take away from this for me, personally. Brad Keselowski wins at Richmond.
All the way. The round of 12. He wins again at Richmond.
Truex 2nd, thanks for nothing. Logano 3rd, Austin Dillon 4th, Elliott 5th. Denny Hamlin clinches for the next round. He's advanced. So we got 3 drivers clinched for the round of 12. Harvick, Keselowski, Hamlin, and whoever wins next week if it's a new winner.
Denny Hamlin's finish of 12th, that will lock him in also on points into the round of 12.
And the bubble's going to be real interesting at Bristol.
Career win for Brad Keselowski breaking a tie with Fireball Roberts on the all-time wins list in NASCAR. And I think anytime
Yeah, I'd say Penske and, well, particularly Keselowski, they got that mile and smaller racetrack deal figured out pretty nicely. Your Phoenixes, your Loudons, Richmond, Bristol, Martinsville, yeah, they got it covered. He's going to be tough. Especially because they said they're going to bring that car back for Phoenix.
Right now, Brad Keselowski.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to stream anything tomorrow, no matter how that game's going. I'm keeping football for me.
At Bristol. So adding to that bucket of points, Steve, you always talk about the bucket of points. Keep filling up if you can. Playoff points so important to help you advance to the championship four.
You never know how these rounds are going to go. I didn't know how this race was going to go. Brad was so confident when we talked to him this week. Just
lean, green, and mean. Race finished under 3 hours.
Well, he knew they were going to run.
That's how we like it. 2 hours, 56 minutes. I love that that's on the leaderboard. Tells me exactly how long the race was.
That's how much.
So there's your top 12 in this race.
Dominate the race at Richmond. Marty.
And Brad's going to climb out. He doesn't have his traditional American flag. They couldn't find it at the pit box, but nonetheless a win to celebrate.
Deport Keselowski. They don't have his American flag.
This car has now raced twice. This car has now won twice. And I like how Brad took care of it. No burnout tonight because he knows.
Yeah, they're not tearing that car up.
For a championship with, of course, they'll fix the body between now and then, obviously. But Brad gonna put on his mask here. Well, you called your shot to us on Thursday, Brad. But did you honestly expect to lead almost half the laps tonight in this race?
Yeah, it was a great race here, Marty, for us and the two team. This is, I think, my car from Loudon.
It is, yes.
And, you know, I want to do a really cool burnout with it, but I want this car for Phoenix. It's 2 for 2. And,
I can't do football.
Man, I'm real pumped.
Too tired.
Too far ahead. We got to get there. The next round's going to be really difficult.
I'm stressed enough as it is.
I'm really pumped about this performance and the way we ran on short tracks. And felt like coming in here.
Y'all have seen plenty enough of me.
Ford Mustang that we would run well, Marty, but man, this thing was awesome.
Well, so what kind of statement, Brad, is this for Phoenix that could be what's coming and what your team could do when you get to that track?
We got to get there. You know, the last few years I haven't made it all the way, so we got to get all the way there. But if we can get to Phoenix, we're going to be really good.
To dominate on a night like this, Brad, when strategy is all over the place, how patient did you have to be when cars were in front of you on different strategies all night long?
Very patient, I tell you. It's a chess game, and I got blinders on.
That was a fun race.
What everybody's doing.
I enjoyed that race.
Who's on what strategy, but
just wish could have got the money at the end.
Excellent.
One spot away.
Thank them enough. Thank you, team. Thank you, everybody at Team Penske that gave me such a great car, and it's a really special day, Marty. Thank you.
He leads 192 laps. He called it on Thursday, Rick. He said, if we don't go dominate and win, we're going to be disappointed. I think Brad Keselowski has a lot to be happy about tonight here at Richmond.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to hear from more drivers.
Well, hate to cut it short on you, but, I mean, race is over. No need to hang around. No real drama to look for. Keselowski wins. Truex robs me for the second week in a row. Overall, fun was had, I suppose. Low downforce, high horsepower. I'll see y'all whenever the truck race is. There's a truck race at Bristol, ain't there? Well, see you next time, whenever that may be.